Piper Carter podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
So, let's see. We waiting on people, but you know what? We're gonna keep it pushing.
Yes, we are. Because time waits on no man or woman.
Waits on no
female.
one. Yeah. So we live. All right. We're in the 100th episode. Piper Carter podcast. Detroit is different. Hey. We're in the building. And thanks, P Groove. Legendary music producer extraordinaire, Hypnotic Records.
He came in as an engineer.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is exciting.
Dang, Kari, what's up?
Yeah, they hearing voices and they ain't even got the introduction. Miss Piper Carter.
Peace, y'all. You know what? I'm just excited. We're here in Detroit is Different studio. We are here, you know, in front of greatness, the legendary Kari Frazier.
Hey. I'm just a black man caught up in the mix, here to celebrate good times. Come on. Where's Cool and the gang? I'm the gang. I'm not Cool.
So, and you know, I'm Piper Carter. And we got our co-host Brittany. What's up, Brittany?
What up, Doe?
We waiting on Deja and Jira, who will be here a little later.
Yeah.
And so we got the 100th episode of the podcast.
100.
Hey, we toasting up.
Most podcasts don't make it past episode 7.
Wow. Are you serious?
To make it, yes. To make it to 100.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
We toasting up. I got me some grapefruit juice.
Yes.
What you got, Kari?
I have some vanilla Coca-Cola, which is definitely not a good Coca-Cola, but it is the honey bourbon from Detroit City Distillery, mixing with that and many a Detroit watered ice cubes
from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department.
Detroit Water and Sewage Department. My ice comes from there.
All right, and look who's coming in the building, superstar.
Hey,
what's up, Deja?
Yes. Get up.
Hey. Okay. Hey, music producer. Okay, the beats are coming. February.
I haven't even accepted that title. That's crazy.
Okay, well,
that's so funny.
In the Carhartt attire.
Yeah.
I have my Carhartt attire as well.
What up, though, Dave?
I was watching Above the Rim earlier, and Marlon Wayans' character was wearing a Carhartt sweatshirt too in that movie.
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
Wow.
Boogaloo is his name, as I have seen Above the Rim, and I'm very familiar with the Tupac Shakur filmography.
Okay. So,
including his A Different World episode appearance.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, continue.
Yes.
So we're in the 100th episode. Isn't this amazing?
It is.
It's really exciting.
How you feeling about it, Piper?
I feel really happy. I feel really proud. I feel really honored.
Right.
Thank you
Thank you for having us be a part of this.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
It's a commitment, right, Piper?
It's a commitment, that's for sure.
Yeah, we started it was a couple years back. What year was that?
Was it 2018?
Was it 18?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So 18.
Yeah.
Dang, almost 3 years.
Yeah. So about to be 2021.
Yeah, so 18 we started
2020 is like a blur.
A young Piper, young Detroit is different. And it's been on many a journeys, some live events, some live shows.
Oh man, those are the best.
Yeah, we did like a live recording, right?
Yeah, like several.
Actually, we did 2.
A couple.
We did a couple.
We did the where the women in
hip-hop
show.
Where we went to there and did we did a few, right?
Yeah. We did Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Juneteenth was hype.
That was hot. And plus we did the showcases.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, okay, she's the rapper, I'm the DJ.
That's hot.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I wasn't a part of that.
That was like
we did 2.
I feel like that was one of the last things I went to before COVID.
It was because it was like close to Halloween. It was Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh,
Halloween weekend.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It was before I even joined the show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She was recruited then. She
was
in the game.
He was like, we need that.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah. You know what? I mean,
sweet. Good times.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Like, okay, so Kari, tell us about the first episode, because that was funny to me.
The first episodes were very funny, and people was like, "Kari always talking." I am always talking. That's why it's a podcast network.
That's why you own a whole network about that.
Yes,
so you can talk.
So I can talk. But yes, it was. I remember it was some at the time. Kanye West mental.
It was when he
whatever.
tried to come out with that poopy scoop.
Yes.
Poopity.
And people were saying that it was hot.
It is.
Oh my god.
I'm just joking. Chill.
I'm like,
chill.
no, because Britney
I am a
loves
Kanye fan. Huge
Yes.
Kanye fan.
He can't do no wrong.
And I'm getting the new
She voted
Yeezys.
for him. She was one of the
Exactly.
50,000.
Yeah, I was.
Exactly.
It
She's
sent
gonna
me.
change her
I got a pair of Yeezys. Y'all wouldn't vote for Kanye for a pair of Yeezys?
Stop
Y'all
it.
gonna stop hating on Good Brother. We
Stop
probably got a good
it.
10 podcasts of y'all hating on Kanye.
Stop.
Kanye was part of like 3 of them.
I feel. I do not want.
This show hates Kanye West.
I do not want
Piper's
the.
laughing at me.
I do not want the birthday party constituency to take arms against me.
Hey, protect black men, okay?
I feel that.
Hilarious.
I feel that. Are you, but you didn't take after the MAGA hats as well.
I mean, those,
No.
those was hot when they was hot.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. And then Brittany came along. You know, you came along. What was
I
it
think my
like?
first episode was when you had some activists from Southwest on.
Oh, was it Sacramento Knox?
Mm-mm.
It was Sam and
Mhm.
it was.
It was Sam.
Oh, okay. And she was running.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm glad
Mhm.
I made the collaboration and that Brittany has committed to this.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for the
yeah.
collab.
It's been
Thank
that
you
was
for
a
the
dope collab.
introduction.
Because one day I was just like, it's crazy. So Mama Shoshana, I was filming a documentary. She was like, come to this podcast. And it was like, I can't remember the name of the coffee shop, but it's off 6 Mile. And she was like, just come and watch the podcast. So she introduces me to Kari. Kari, like, you got to come check out the studio. And I'm like, cool. And a week later, he was like, you got to meet this girl, Piper Carter. Like, you going to love her. She in everything you like. Then I met her.
Oh,
Then
wow.
Piper gave me a 70s quiz. I failed it.
What you talking about the quiz?
You're like, you know what this is? You know what this is from this era? I'm like, no, I don't know none of that shit, Piper.
Oh, I probably was just making conversation.
Yeah, Piper. Yeah, Piper is silly.
It's like
But I mentioned it because she
On your
feeling
head
you.
from day
Yeah.
one. So basically, Piper has been on your neck from day one.
Day one.
Oh
No,
wow!
no,
Oh,
no.
I'm on your
Piper-
neck.
Piper encourages people, but also Piper is very silly. And
Yeah.
that's
Of
why I
course.
like the podcast because it shows the activism, the artistry, the mind, and also the comedy of Piper Carter. It's almost like the full essence of my fellow Northwestern coach.
Mhm.
Hey,
There we
COLTS, Coat Mania.
Yes.
Wait, I gotta tell
The
you a
big,
funny
you know.
story.
go. Okay, what's up?
Okay, so yeah, Northwestern High School, our colors are red and gray. I was captain of the cheer team, but I was also the school mascot. Now this is funny because our school had not had a mascot since like the 70s.
Yeah, I'm thinking. to
Did
myself,
anyone
I
know you were
didn't
the
know we
mascot?
had
No,
a
no, no,
mascot.
no. This what happened.
I didn't know we had.
Our
a
school
mascot.
hadn't had a mascot
Oh,
since
God.
the 70s. So I remember one day we were in the basement looking for some other stuff with our coach. And I saw this, like costume. And I was like, what on earth is this? And it was a horse because our mascot is a colt, like a baby horse. And our
Yes.
colors are red and gray. So it was a big red costume with like gray mane and a gray tail. And I said, oh my God, I said, I'm gonna wear this thing. And everybody and the cheer team was like, I dare you, I'll pay you whatever. I don't remember the amount if you wear that. And so I took it and I was gonna wear it. But when I brought it home, I showed my aunt. My aunt used to make clothes.
Mhm.
She was like, you can't wear this because she was like, this thing stank. This thing made here since the 70s. These are funky underarms, and it was bell bottoms, and it was polyester.
Polyester.
And she
Sounds like the 70s.
she took it and she made a pattern. She redid the whole costume, right? Now I used to have long hair, and so
Used to.
and I used to what do you call it? Like, put in a wrap, so it was more straight. So what she did was instead of put yarn, the gray yarn as the mane again, she just put where I could put my hair through it. So the hood, it had like a hood and it covered up, and the only thing was out was like my face.
That's
And imagine
hilarious.
like a bodysuit, but it wasn't a sexy bodysuit. It was just like a horse. And then it wasn't bell bottom, but it was more like straight leg. And so then she put like a tail, on the back.
Oh my God.
It was a great tail. So it was hilarious. So I'd be walking so the mascot we would pull out at home games. We never pulled the mascot out at away games. So it was always for home games. So football, basketball. So what I would do is I would wear the uniform, and I would like do flips and stuff, and I'd come out and do all these crazy flips and back flips and front flips and aerials and jump. And then you have the big we would have like this big round thing that when the game start, you burst through it. So like I would like come through and I burst through and everybody be like, ah! And I get the crowd hype, like silly and stuff like that. Then I go back to the locker room and change it to my cheer outfit and they come out and lead the cheers. But I would lead the team. When the team comes out and it's like a big old thing, and then so I would be the mascot. I lead the team out first, so I lead them out and get everybody hyped up. Then they, how like in basketball they do like it's like a little thing, a setup they do to like show them doing the ball.
Have a solid basketball team.
We won Carlos everything. Rogers. Yeah, Carlos Rogers, famous NBA player, came from our year. Now our basketball team, we won everything. Our football team, let me just put it this way. All 4 years that I was there, our record is 0-50, something like that.
Some of our better football players were on other blocks.
Yeah. Yes. You said other blocks.
Other blocks.
No, but we cheered for all the teams. So we cheered for girls basketball, we cheered for volleyball, we cheered for basketball, we cheered for football. But let me tell you what's hilarious too. The girls basketball team, many of them were also on the volleyball team, and they hated us, right? The girls basketball team and the volleyball team couldn't stand us. We used to be in the locker rooms, like it was not good. But we were also like really cool, but then it was also like rivalry. So then we'd be on the bus and it'd be all this like, girl fights. But it was just crazy because they couldn't stand that we cheered for them. And we used to be like, what do y'all want? Like, y'all like, and then, we were hood. So we'd be like, don't nobody care about y'all games. No way. Like, we bring the hype. Like, we get people hyped up. It used to be like that.
Bring it on.
It was like, bring it on.
Yes. Except for no white.
But our teams were good. Let me just say this. Our girls basketball and our girls volleyball were great. We had a lot of great sports teams. So we just had like they couldn't stand us. They just thought, we were girly girls. You know what I'm saying? So we annoyed them because, we'd be smiling and cheering. In the hood, that's not welcome.
That's hilarious.
All that smiling and cheering. Like, what are y'all so happy about?
Being happy in the hood. That could be a documentary. Happiness in the hood.
It could be.
Yes.
So what's up, Deja? What's going on with you?
Oh, just work crazy.
Work crazy for the man.
That and myself.
Okay.
Oh, for yourself?
Trying to still, do the tech thing. Figure out what I want to do with that.
And let's take it doing.
I just have to carve out more time, and it's hard to teach myself.
I feel that, but we doing because
Yeah.
it's here. It's incepted in the mind.
Yes.
All right, but then for the man, what are you doing for the man? Do you like your job? That's a long response.
I like it because I like what I do. Like I like helping people, but do I like the job itself? No.
Okay. And do you feel privileged at this time of need during this COVID-19 crisis to still be working for the man?
No.
I feel that. I feel that.
No.
Represent for all you people out there. That is the mentality. So yeah, take your strides onto what you want to do, tie into what you do with autonomy, your own freedom, your own creativity. So yeah, just like Jirah. Jirah's taking a lot of strides himself as a tech person.
Yeah, he has.
Speaking of Jirah, he's at the door.
He is.
Yeah, he's like, let me in.
Jirah should have a key. It's like what do they call it? Like the vampire movies, you gotta let them in, and then they like get into you.
But you said like the vampire movies, you ain't right.
Hey, it's like that.
You gotta let them in. Brittany, you know what he's talking about?
I'm a horror.
Brittany says she don't know what you're talking about. Tell Brittany about that.
I'm a horror aficionado. Okay, well, it's actually a movie called Let Me In, but like in the arc of the story of a vampire, you have to welcome in the vampire to be taken over and everything. So like it's within being let in as opposed to just the vampire jumping you.
So you're like, I want to get bitten, bite me.
No.
It's
No, it's more like, you know how the vampire. Hey, what's up, Jaira?
Peace,
You know how the vampire has you know, what is it? The hypnotizing, you know, magnetism.
Mhm.
And so you know, long story short, when we see a lot of these different vampire movies, they hadn't really kind of, you know, lifted that part out. But when you read the stories more, and there's a few movies that kind of talk about it, but in general, when the vampire comes, you have to invite the vampire in.
Oh wow!
So the vampire doesn't really just come get you. Now there are plenty of movies where the vampire was getting people.
Yes.
But in general, it's this alluring. It's a very cerebral kind of thing that goes with the story where, you know, you have to invite this vampire in.
And I'm over here trying to think of like a vampire movie that I like really know. Blade,
Bones,
which is
what was that one with the Sutherland?
Blackula.
I've never seen.
No, Blackula is from the 70s.
Blackula Scream.
You never saw Blackula?
I've never seen that.
Okay, that's
Mama
your homework.
Walday's greatest work.
And
that's your homework.
What's the Eddie Murphy one? Vampire in Brooklyn.
And then you
okay.
have
I saw that one.
Ganja and Hess, which
Never
is
seen
like
that.
another 70s. It's like one of the most artistic horror films ever.
What's that one called again?
It's another black horror film. Ganja and Hess. But also, like, you know, the classic ones. So you say Kiefer Sutherland. That's the one. What's that? The Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yeah, Lost Boys.
That one
but,
was
you know, Bram
scary.
Stalkers.
Yeah.
So you have the classic ones.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, you know, technically, yeah, Blade.
Blade is
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah, Blade. Here
His
we
origin
go.
story is really great.
Blade as a movie in the superstardom of the great Wesley Snipes
Of Marvel, right?
saved Marvel, because before Blade and Wesley Snipes, Marvel could not really make a film. But it took the success of Blade to propel Marvel to the stratosphere of where they're at now.
Yeah, a
But
lot of
does
people
he
didn't
get
even
any
realize
credit?
Blade was in the Marvel universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what
Yeah,
happens.
that didn't kind of come out until after, was it the second one when they started really lifting that out of in the marketing?
Mhm.
Because they didn't lead
I'm
with
not
that.
sure.
Yeah, in the marketing, they didn't really lead with
I
that.
believe it.
They
Yeah.
want to see Nino Brown.
It
Man.
It's always Nino Brown meet vampires.
was.
Yeah, it's
it
funny.
was. That's hilarious.
And Boucher Wright.
Wait, did he go? Did his tax issues, was that pre-Blade
That
or
was
post?
pre-Blade.
That was,
That was pre-Blade. Okay.
That was pre-Blade. But as we know, I mean, some of it, tax issues, and we're glad to see him out. But, you know, Wesley Snipes is a heck of an actor.
Yeah.
Heck of a catalog as well, filmography.
Jungle Fever, White Man Can't Jump.
Mm.
All those are classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he even in that
Him and Mo
Dolomite,
Better, yeah.
even in the Dolomite movie with Eddie Murphy,
I
working
hate-
alongside Eddie Murphy, it was just showing like his chops.
Yeah.
Mhm,
But you were gonna say
mhm.
you don't like
That was
the
a good
Dolomite
one.
film with
I
Eddie?
hated him in Mo Better Blues. He played that character so well. How he hated on what was Denzel's name in that movie?
On Flip.
I can't
Yes.
remember. But he was like the best friend that was in the group that played the saxophone and was always trying to outdo Denzel.
Yeah.
And then was like hating on him to his girl.
Yes.
And then he ended up going with his girl and starting his own band.
Hey, well, Denzel was a man making a decision between two love interests.
Yeah.
Mm.
Spike Lee's sister.
Yes. Spike Lee's sister was in a lot of Spike Lee movies at one point in time.
For a while.
Mm.
Mhm.
For a while there.
She has a different look. I would say exotic.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. Black
You know
exotic.
that's considered an insult.
I mean, but it's not to be taken as one in the spectrum of black women and different looks and stuff. She's pretty exotic looking.
You think so?
Yeah, she has a different look. For
I don't know. No, it's just that black women look like so much stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. No, but it is considered offensive to say that someone looks exotic.
Oh, for
I
real? I
wouldn't-
never
I-
knew that.
I-
Yeah.
I wouldn't take offense to that.
How is it considered offensive?
Because it is a suggestion that of something called Orientalism.
I mean,
Wow.
depending on what part of the world you come from, it could be.
Orientalism.
Right. So
Interesting.
it's akin to saying, like, you know, it's akin to fetishism. So it's like fetishizing,
Sure.
you know, physicality or phenotypes and stuff like
Oh,
that.
so it's
Sure.
like that 50 Cent Lil Wayne discussion that they had. I got you.
Some things can become draining. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Oh
50
man, why is it
50
draining, Brittany?
50 and Lil
Sorry.
Wayne, Curtis Jackson, and Dwayne Carter.
Like, what do you mean?
Oh.
No, listen, I'm listening. What you mean, Kari?
Oh, okay.
Kari, what you mean? Yeah.
The discussion they had this summer, the whole, and it, 50 Cent says all
That was a
types of
surface
ignorant
conversation, though.
Surface.
That was
or-
pretty surface way of that. Falls into the category of what Piper's talking about.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, most
conversation.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, we definitely know. I assume the amount of drugs I'm unsure what discernment he can make on any choices and decisions. But and then when we think of what 50 Cent has been, he's like the troll of all trolls. That's
how he
his
does
whole
his thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
Deja, do you like Lil Wayne? Like, is he on your top 20 list of all time?
If I had to compile a list, I would say so, but I don't listen to I don't know a full Wayne song by heart.
Interesting. Because I was gonna say that's right before her era, as young
It
as
is.
she is.
That's all I was
No,
gonna
I
say.
grew up in it. I wasn't raised in a rap household, so I couldn't love it the way
I was in the ninth. I was in the 10th.
my mom tried to make me listen to rap. She wanted me to listen to all of it, but I wanted to listen to R&B. I wanted to listen to Jill Scott.
That's real. I believe that. I was in the ninth grade when Carter 1 came out, and I was in the 10th junior year when Carter 2 came out. So that means you were probably like in elementary school.
Mm.
And that was definitely the era. Like for instance, are you like when you think of Lil Wayne, what's the first song? Like, how old are you? I guess that's really the question.
I'm 24.
Okay, so if you're 24, so we're thinking that like
Millie?
2000 and
That's
so like
Carter
that's like
3.
Yeah, that's Carter 3. So he was already in the trajectory of who Lil Wayne was.
Okay.
By that time.
Yeah.
But,
Mixtape
like,
Wayne, the droughts.
Yeah.
Man, no ceiling is college for me, so that's still not the real Lil Wayne.
I remember
Hot Boys,
watching him get more popular on BET.
Yeah, that was a thing too.
Like, just still didn't faze me. Is all.
Yeah,
But also, Brittany, the real Lil Wayne was in that picture with Donald Trump the other week.
The real Lil Wayne was kissing baby on BET in the mouth.
Like I say, Lil Wayne's drug use is definitely
he's had a life for sure.
Yes. And I mean, I guess Lil Wayne's whole story, when we think about it, is very, I don't know, it almost aligns with a lot of those black athletes being a young, talented black male.
With privilege. Is that what you're...
No, taken in by a whole nother family. After he shot himself, his family, his mother and his father died. His mother allowed Brian and the Williams brothers to raise him as their own, almost kind of like these pro athletes, like a LeBron James or Allen Iverson or Steven Jackson or Colin Kaepernick. Like, it's just interesting to see that like, okay, you have talent and you can take my child to another level. I mean, Simone Biles, it happens in gymnastics a lot, like where you have a talented black child where the family recognizes the talent, but they're going to allow others to, I guess, rear the child and raise the child because they don't have access to the, what would I say? The
benefits.
The systems, I wasn't gonna say benefits, but like the systems that will expose that talent and hone those skills. I mean, that's unique. Like if you have a child that, like I have a cousin that was very competitive. Shout out Kayla.
Shout out to Kayla.
In gymnastics. Like if you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, kind of like at the age of 13, 14, you have to be willing to say, hey, USA gymnastics team, can you take my child? Which is also what made the shit that was happening at Michigan State with my man even creepier because they start getting access to those children at such a young age,
like the modeling industry, fashion industry,
ice skating. But I'm saying Lil Wayne is a rarity that it happened in hip hop because he was like 12, 13 rapping alongside BG, who was maybe like 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? But still, like, you know, these two dudes, the Williams brothers, are taking your child and raising your child. That's just,
it's different for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems
that's like Piper working with a kid and then her parents being like, you go live with Piper for a while.
Yeah.
Let Piper mature your photography skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that happens a lot.
Let me tell you something. That used to happen when I had a gallery. I remember like some of the youth would come and hang out at the gallery. And I remember this one young person in particular, they brought, you know, their friends because they would meet people. So they brought these friends over. And one of them was a little boy, right? Like he was, I don't know, maybe 10. And so imagine majority of the kids that used to be at the gallery were anywhere between 14 to 16. That was like the average age. There were some that were a little older and some maybe 13, but in general, most of the kids were like, let's say 14 to, 16. And so to have the little 10-year-old come with the group, I'm like, where'd you get him from? And it's like, oh, that's my friend's little brother. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Now, you know, in the hood, when someone is your sibling, you know, you might not necessarily have the same parents or the same household. Gotcha. So that think they had been spending time together throughout the day, but they didn't live together. And I didn't actually realize that they didn't actually live together because it's like, this is my brother. And you bring this little brother, it's like, okay, I'm thinking y'all came together, y'all leaving together.
That's natural, yeah.
So when you know, time is passing because the kids used to hang out all the time at the gallery, just like making beats all day and coming up with stuff. So I was kind of used to a bit older demographic, you know, the teen demographic. So like 7, 8, it was pretty normal for them to like still be at the gallery making beats. But I remember I was working on something. I think it was probably like around, maybe like it was dark. So it was probably like 8:00. And I just saw this little kid like run past me. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like it's a little kid here. So he's got to go home.
You got that right.
So I went to the kids that brought him and I said, hey, look, it's like 8:00. Y'all should, you know, let's see what's going on. Let's, you know, wrap it up, you know, and get him home. And they were like, oh, yeah, his brother left. And I was like, okay. I'm like, so tell him to come back and get his brother.
Poor kid.
Easy fix.
And then they like, no, he went home. And I said, okay, why didn't take his brother with him? Right. And he was like, can I stay with you? And I was like, huh? No. And I was like, let's call your mom. He was like, she don't care. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, give me the number. So mind you, I don't know this kid from a can of paint. I mean, he's been there the whole day, but that's pretty much all I know him, right? I called the mother, and first off, I apologized to her. Because to me, I'm thinking, oh, it's 8:00 and I had your kid all day. And I'm sorry that, you know, I didn't get him home. So at first I apologized to her, like, sorry it's so late. And, you know, his brother left. And, you know, I don't know if someone could come pick him up or do you want me to drop him off? And she was like, can he stay with you? And I was like, excuse me? Wow. She don't even know me. You understand what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, they told me, you know, you cool and this and that. Mind you, this is a child. This is not a teenager. Not that it make a difference, but I'm just saying it's a baby to me. He's still in elementary school. And she was like, can he just stay with you? And I was like, no. What are you talking about? Like it struck me like weird. And I kind of felt bad to like take him home because I'm thinking like, what on earth I'm taking him to? But he was like, can I please stay with you? And she was like, can he stay with you? Mind you, as I'm trying to get the address, because mind you, he don't even know his address.
He's that young.
You know what I'm saying? He don't know his address. Yeah. So I'm trying to get the address. And she was like, just bring him in the morning. And I'm like,
I'm about to drop him off at the police station.
Oh no, I can't do that now.
I was gonna do that now. They gonna call CPS.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna do that.
CPS.
But I was like, nah. So long story short, I called some of the other youth and I told them, what was going on, and they was like, well, his, all this hood stuff, his brother over his mama house and this, that, and the third. So whatever the situation was, they couldn't reconnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling different people, and you know how people are. Nobody want to be bothered, know. So I said, okay. So I called a few people. I said, well, I'm gonna let him stay here. So I literally called a couple of the, other folks by some of the, people in the community, and we just stayed the night there at the gallery with him. And we tucked them in. We had a futon, and so we had blankets, futon, all that. And then when I, called, because it was the next morning, it was a school morning. So, he's like, I got to go to school. So I'm like, okay, he didn't have uniform. Then she was like, can you take him to school? Mind you, his uniform was smelled terrible. And I was just like, I was like, you can't go to school in this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I took his clothes, washed him. I went up to the school and I just told the school that he was sick and that I was taking him to the doctor or whatever. And I just kept him for like the day and then, got him some more clothes and just, like gave him a little stressless kind of day, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just like, and then was like, okay, let's get your work and, talk to his teacher and had him do the work and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? At the gallery. And then, took him back home like a little later, but it was crazy when I was dropping him off at home. He was begging me to not take him home. And I was like, what's at the home? And then he had like, I don't know, maybe like 4 sisters or something. And when I got to the house, one of his sisters was probably like maybe 14 or 15. And she was pregnant. And her and the mom was like screaming at each other. And the house just smelled terrible. And the reason that the mother didn't want him coming home, because she had a dude.
I knew it.
And so she had a dude, so she didn't want him coming home because that was her respite, I suppose. But yeah, that is, and as crazy as that story is, I got a list of stories that's even crazier. I'll save them for other episodes. But when I would be at the gallery and we'd be doing youth work, it would be crazy situations like that. Young people and just the crap that they used to have to tolerate and go through. And you just be like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, and then here this kid would come and just be amazing, like doing all this artwork or be like really great at like making beats, or you wouldn't even know what they're going through.
You had the gallery open like 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you had like, you ran different youth programs, and then at night you turned it into like a more of an adult atmosphere type thing?
Pretty much. I mean, it was one youth program. Yeah. But like, so they would come after school. They would come on the weekends.
That's cool.
And then we would take them to colleges and different summits and conferences, and they would have different workshops, classes,
Mm-hmm.
And then people would sometimes just come by, kick it, and just teach folks how to make beats and stuff.
Open space kind of.
Open space, yeah. But then we would also rent the space for events.
Okay.
And then we would, hire the youth to help us work some of the events. Some of them they couldn't work. But
what kind of events do people have?
Sometimes baby showers, sometimes
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, all kinds of events. Sometimes unfortunately, sometimes those memorials.
Repasses.
Mm-hmm. And then what else do we have? We had a couple weddings there.
That's cool.
We have and then we would have, dance parties, performances, different showcases. We would also have different food events, with different chefs, and then we'd also have like DJ battles, b-boy battles, rap battles, and then we would have the gallery space. So we would have different art shows, and then we would support all the graffiti artists and stuff. So yeah. But I don't know, I'm like I want to dig into some of these topics. I want to see, I've been talking a long time. I wanted y'all to get your voices in here. I didn't want to dominate the conversation.
No, it's been cool.
So I wanted to see I don't know, maybe Jaira. What's up, Jaira? Are you ready for the tech report, or you need a minute?
What's up, everyone?
What's up, Jaira?
I don't. I could talk about. It's not much. It's just mostly about the new tech that Apple released.
Okay, which one?
Their headphones.
Oh yes, they look so. Them things are $500.
Yeah, it's insane.
$49.
You seen them, Deja?
Mhm.
Those Apple Pods,
Yeah. Oh, they're called
I do
Apple
like the
Pod
case for them.
Max.
That case
Apple
is
Pod
slick.
Max.
Yeah, my coworker told me about them
AirPod
a couple
Max.
weeks ago.
AirPod
I was
Max.
like, wow. I
That's
didn't think they'd bring it back
Mhm.
What do you mean
Yeah.
back?
because it's like the iPod, isn't it?
It is actually like
No,
these
they're
headphones.
Oh.
overhead headphones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They, like, go over your head.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're wireless. But
She
Yeah.
was
go.
telling me about. I thought she was telling me about this iPod that was coming out.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, the iPod or AirPod.
No, I thought she was telling me about an iPod.
I don't know.
She told me someone bought it. I don't know. Never mind. Forget I haven't said anything.
Yeah, they have a new overhead headphones, and they are pretty expensive. But knowing Apple,
Mhm.
they don't, they don't make poor quality. So like everything that they have is usually integrated with all like the other systems.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's gonna be like.
I was thinking to get them,
Yeah, actually,
but I was like $500. What's
Yeah.
wrong with me?
I feel like it should
That's a
be
lot of
like
money.
120 at least.
I mean, so do you know what the difference is between like those and let's say like some Bose headphones or something?
Well,
Because aren't the Dr. Dre's Bose headphones?
yeah. No, that's Beats.
Isn't Dr. Dre Beats?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like Beats by Dre. I'm talking about the Dre headphones. Aren't those like a Bose?
I don't think so.
No, Bose is a different company.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I can't remember who. I mean, I know Apple bought those headphones, Dr. Dre headphones, though. So,
Yeah, they did.
which is interesting. I wonder, and I was always wondering when they bought them, when they were gonna come up with like a collab with the headphones.
I don't think
So-
they will.
Which is weird. Like I would use that as an opportunity.
What
but
you mean?
Like Apple bought Dr. Dre headphones, so like 5-6 years ago. So I was assuming that Apple would use the merger, the acquisition of the Dre headphones to come out with a product that was like a Apple Dre Beat merger project.
Like what?
A headphone, like
A different one?
yeah, like something specifically like Dr. Dre Apple product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Apple is kind of like Elon Musk. How Elon Musk only invests in himself. Kind of same with Apple. They only invest in themselves. They don't like to do partnerships, really.
I just thought it would have been a nice collab to see.
Yeah, it would have.
So tell us about the headphone.
Well, I don't know too much about it. I actually want to go to the Apple Store and try them out just to see if it's actually worth $500.
$500, yo, for
Yeah.
headphones.
What do
That's
y'all
a
look
lot.
for a headphone? Like from all the angles, like with you photography, what are you looking for inside the headphone?
Well, for
Videography, sorry, right?
Well, for headphones, I mean, you definitely want to have like the dynamic range of sound. You want to have a good bottom. You want to be able to, have a certain level of clarity. Obviously. I mean, those are like basic things that you're looking for.
Mhm.
And when you're like if you use them to do video or whatever, you want to be able to hear with a very keen ear, like all of the nuances that are happening, because you might want to beef up your ambient sound, or you want to see like how to do your levels and things like that. So that's what I would say, but I'm not like a sound person.
I'm with you though. Just
Yeah.
curious because you do a lot of audio. You do a lot of stuff.
Well, no, I do
Indirectly-
video, and
But
I do video.
But through video, you have
P
to care about
Groove,
audio.
P Groove do audio.
What I mean, but you care about the audio.
yeah, that's why
your video.
that's why I hire P Groove.
What about you, Kyrie? What you be looking for a headphone, or what kind of headphones you use?
It depends on what it's for. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the real high end headphones. I do have some of the Dre like for when I run and it syncs because I'm anti-Apple altogether. So it syncs with my Dre phone. But I'm not. First off, a Bluetooth connection to any sound device is not going to be the highest quality sound. So that's just so that you all know, because it's not as clear as wired sound. So that's just the first truth in all matters. After that, I would say if you're looking for like very high end audio to mix or master, if you're an engineer, you may want, like what Piper said, you want some headphones that go through the whole spectrum of the audio cycle as much as the ear can hear. But even with that, because most people only listen to MP3s now, and nowadays people listen to music through their phone and through YouTube. So they're already listening to low quality audio to begin with. So being a great audio engineer nowadays is advantageous, but you're already mixing sound for a low quality sound experience. It's not, it's not the 1970s and you're mixing Marvin Gaye or Barry or David Bowie or something where like people will be, specifically listening to the sound. I think that people are probably looking more for the visual of what the video is, probably listening to MP3s, which MP3s already limit the low end and a lot of the high end of the most of the sound spectrum. They're probably listening through Bluetooth on top of that. And they're listening nowadays they're probably listening through to a TikTok video of a person dancing.
That's hilarious. To
a Bluetooth speaker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's how they're being introduced to music. So like the audio experience, when we talk about like a great audio headphone, I would be more concerned about the fashion appeal of it and how cool it looks, like how people like AirPods, because that's what you're selling. You're selling the aesthetic, not the quality of the actual and functionality of the actual device.
Yeah, I'd copy that because I saw the new Apple headphones, and the first thing I thought was, man, that case is so cool. Like,
that's Apple got you on the packaging. You got to admit that, Kari.
This is great.
That's what you're selling. I mean, you're not selling the functionality of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's. So since it's not the functionality, and in reference to the functionality, that's so few people. Those are, the P grooves, the engineers, but the engineers are smart enough to know that the experience, like they say, is through, you're gonna have, I don't know, at best, I guess, like Black China or Amber Rose dancing to the video and a TikTok, and that's going to introduce it to an audience, or I don't know, Little Baby counting money.
Right,
on his Instagram Live, and it's
so
like,
funny.
Oh man, that's something I need to listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's not like damn, I want to hear that song. Like, that is not the spectrum of where audio is. And I mean, things started really changing, during the mixtape era. I think for hip hop, and hip hop has set the trend for a lot of music, where just that extremely high quality audio sound comes into play. And those engineers that mix like that are the people that have all types of monitors. They have old speakers. They go out to the car when they mix a song.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
They listen to it on the shitty headphones.
They always listen in the car.
It's the best time. I swear it's the best time to listen to the record.
Because they're trying to see how it sounds in different
even
I love the way music sounds in the car.
Even that interview that I heard with young Jeezy or GZ, whatever y'all call him now. What's his name now?
Big Snow.
That's what he calls himself now?
No, Jeezy.
I thought he called himself Jay Jenkins now or something. Anyway,
the good brother Jeezy.
Yeah. So when it's an interview with him, and they ask him about Big Meech, and he said that him and Big Meech used to go to the car and smoke and like listen to his music, and that's how Big Meech was like, hey, encourage him, like, you should
that's dope.
You got to do this. But yeah, it's like and Big Meech is Detroit, so that's
BMF
known for Detroit is also known as being sound engineers and stuff too.
It's many and the experience too. So like depending upon where you're at in life, like my homegirl was over and she was like, you don't listen to a lot of new music, and I'm like, I do, but it's the vibe that I'm on to listen to new music.
I'm with you.
So if I'm at the
Mhm.
crib, I'm listening to like probably old schools.
Yeah.
If I'm working out, I'm probably throwing in some more new school music and stuff. And it's a different energy with
Yeah.
some of the new school music and
Yeah.
even the spectrum of sound that the scape is. Like, so
Mhm.
like a guy like The Weeknd's music, for instance.
Yeah.
The Weeknd's music highlights a lot of lows in different ways and highs. So it encompasses almost like the sound sometimes matches the drug culture and depressive attitudes I think he portrays in his music. I don't know, but
No, I'm with
you know
you.
what I'm saying? So like it has that feel. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It has that feel. So even that is something that I think engineers are, thinking through,
Yeah.
when they're mixing. So picking some headphones, and you're gonna buy a lot of them. And then
Yeah.
the number one thing about headphones is they're always gonna die. So
Yeah.
sometimes, like in
Right.
reference to this studio, the number one thing I buy are headphones. I probably we got 1, 2, 3, 4, because the number one thing here is people roll over the cords, and that's why our zip
Zip
tie
tie 'em.
these. But people open up the zip tie and they still roll over.
Why
the cords. So
do
I
they open it
probably-
up?
And then they crack. I've bought, since starting the studio in 17, I probably bought like 40 pairs of headphones.
And you
I
only have
honestly
like
believe
5
it.
mics, 6 mics.
Hey, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? So and you just got to play something that listens, because broadcast headphones are different than recording headphones, are different than
It's funny.
listening headphones, are different than mixing headphones. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these could be different experiences that you're looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna YouTube the Apple review videos of the AirPods, because for $549, like you have to, like, it has to cover all industries, all trades. Like, and if
Look
not,
at Brittany. She
if
said
not,
she wanted.
If
You got to
not-
do everything for $500.
for real, if not,
It's-
I say this
but
podcast says no to those headphones.
It's about stunting though. It's about
Yes,
the
it's
value.
just-
No, we're not
itself.
getting them for this podcast now.
no, what I'm saying is
That's for when you go to the gym,
The
so
group-
people can be like,
Yeah,
"She
I
got
know.
nice
Yeah,
headphones
exactly.
on. You
no,
look cute."
as a
Exactly.
Gyra bringing
You
us
could
the
be at Planet
headphones.
Fitness, and they be like, "Damn, let them get the donuts first."
Gyra brought us his tech report of the Apple headphones, so I said this podcast is gonna fail them
Oh,
if
Oh.
they don't,
you mean the rating?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, the aesthetic is. I do think that you're going to garner the attention, because
Yes,
that's also
yeah.
a part
Mhm.
of the appeal of Apple, is having whatever the Apple it is. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
that has value, quantifiable value too.
yeah. That says you're somebody.
Yeah, as
What
opposed
is
to
it?
me. Yeah,
I don't know.
nobody.
You're nobody
I
Until
until
remember,
somebody gets Apple.
I remember
Yeah, I saw this
Do-
girl say on Twitter the other day, if you create a product where everyone feels left out if they don't have it, then you're gonna make money for
Oh,
life.
period.
Oh yeah.
That's what not to make it about a website and we're talking about product, but the new Clubhouse website everybody's talking about.
Oh yeah.
I just
It's
downloaded
exclusive,
that. I
right?
just downloaded
Yeah.
it.
It's
That
so,
was gonna be one of my topics.
Are you on
Please,
Clubhouse?
This
Yeah.
is the entryway. Go ahead,
Mhm.
please. Yeah.
No, what are you gonna say about Clubhouse?
That it's exclusive to the point you're making.
You
That's
know-
how people think.
Brittany's
Mhm.
anti all social media. Please speak.
I'm not.
No, that wasn't even an anti-point, but I was just gonna ask you guys. Well, so you guys aren't on it.
I
No,
just
I'm on it.
downloaded it. I don't know the functionality. It
You
looks
just
as
you
if it's
go in the
basically
rooms
like
and
a
listen to
it looks like
conversation
a
and join them.
Zoom. It looks like an open Zoom call. Type
Yeah,
thing.
Kinda.
that's the concept,
Yeah.
pretty
But
much.
you just can make it a title like, roasting people on the west side of Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Go in the
Yeah.
room
That's
and
a
be
real
like,
thing.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
mama's so
That's
black.
a real room,
Your
like
mama's
dead
so
ass.
black.
Yeah, yeah.
Dead
So-
ass,
so
dead ass.
basically, you could do that.
So
That's
there's
the
different
Yeah.
rooms.
Or
Yeah,
you
you
could
can
use it
create your own
effectively.
room.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, and there are
for
some really good
instance.
conversations on
Yeah.
there. I haven't come across them yet, but I
You
see-
haven't?
No.
You gotta join like the you gotta join the rooms with the like tech leaders and the
I know that's
rooms
what
with
I
the
need.
with people that have really amazing things. And I'm gonna send you some rooms
That's-
to go
that's
to.
Whenever
That's
I
smart,
get the
Piper.
because I have my
Yeah.
notifications on for that app, and that's like the only one that I do have my notifications on. I'm always at work when like I see good conversations.
Oh, there's good conversation
wait, is it
tonight.
like
There's a
live?
women in media one. No, women in music. No, women in media or something like
yeah.
that.
Wait,
And it happens today, tonight at like
back
midnight.
Back up
Yeah,
a little.
yeah,
Like
well-
explain. So you get into the application,
Yeah.
Kari. You get into the application, and then what happens from there?
You can, like, I think the home screen is just who you follow or something like that. Like there's different tabs, kind of like an Instagram
And
or
groups.
something like that. Yeah. So you can just select what you want to listen to, and you can see who the people that you follow are into, and then you can see
Or you can
when
start
the
a
people that
room.
you follow are active. Yeah. Or like
So was it like Zoom and Live mashed together?
Like in
kinda,
the phone
sorta?
call.
yeah, it's just one big ass phone call.
That is so cool.
When you just go and listen.
Kevin, but people have been getting caught up in there though. Like Kevin Hart
I saw
came under
Academics
fire.
and Meek Mill.
Yeah.
release. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Kari?
No, I have. See, this is the thing. Like I say, okay. Just being that you said academics,
Well, listen, let
my
me.
perspective would be like,
Well, this is. I'm not an AK fan at all. So this is what they call.
AK.
Well, that's what the kids call them. These old heads. So listen. So wait. So Meek Mill, 21 Savage, and a couple other rappers confront him about his platform. And then, there's like this like little beef between Meek Mill and Academics, AK, whatever you want to call him.
Mhm.
And so like Meek Mill is like, it's funny how people are. So now everybody's on this hate Meek Mill wave. Like everything he says is stupid. Everything
But that's
he does
because
is
he does say
stupid.
stupid shit.
So
He
every-
does do stupid
I'm
shit.
not a fan. I'm just.
But
I
it's
just
also
noticed- I
but it's
just
because
noticed-
he dissed the hood. That's
I
why.
just noticed that now everyone is.
He
I don't know.
did.
I'm not. Everyone is on this wave of no Meek Mill right now. So people are like in this
Take that
chat.
documentary off my Amazon watch list.
What documentary?
Free Meek.
Oh, here you go. But no, they're in there basically checking Academics about his platform, and he's in there like taking up for himself.
What's
Of
his
course.
platform?
Well, they
On
say
Twitch
that
or-
they say he causes a lot of gang violence death because he insinuates it. He promotes 6ix9ine. He antagonizes. This is a
He
good one.
does. He does.
They say they
antagonize.
said that he doesn't separate himself from his brand, and then he was arguing that he is his brand. And then 21 Savage was like the mediator. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was weird to
But
me.
21
Me too,
Savage of
right?
all
But it
people
made-
It was
saying
crazy. He was
Someone
saying
else does not separate themselves from their
no.
brand.
He just brought
No,
in
but he
logical
was
points.
he was just
He
making
made go ahead. He was making everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was just making a point
Well,
to
share the point. Said what did 21 Savage say to
Oh man.
Academics? Please.
he
share.
told him that he had
He's okay. So this is what he said. So Meek was like, "I'm tired of you using your platform to keep up gang violence." And so
And then Academic
21
probably
said,
laughed. And
yeah,
what did
academics said,
Academic
academics
say?
said, then well, we need to stop talking about it and all together. Because I feel like, and 21 Savage was like, I agree with him.
Wait. Academic
Okay.
said we need to stop talking
About gang violence altogether, or he was like because I'm gonna chill on some of the stuff I talk about, but he was like I don't know if that's gonna help. And 21 Savage cut everybody off and was like he's right. Like we have to realize that if academics started promoting gang violence altogether, people will still be getting shot. People will still be getting murdered. Like so, let's take a little bit of heat off of him and address the bigger picture here. We have the voice as well. It's not just him.
Okay.
And
I agree.
he said y'all put stuff online for academics to talk about. If y'all didn't put y'all whole lives online, he wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Okay. People are putting their whole things online because they
to
saw
get
the
on his
success of-
platform.
And that's what
They
they
saw
talked
the
about.
success of
That's-
21 Savage talking about being a goon and killing a bunch of people. And they want the success of 21 Savage and Meek Mill. Like, why? Like,
And that's what they debated in the
so
whole
they
thing.
debated the fact that, like, basically,
Yeah.
it's almost like, hey, when I was selling crack, it was different.
Right.
But I don't want y'all to sell
No,
crack.
yeah,
no more.
pretty
They
much.
got stuck on the fact that they realized it came to indirectly that the game is always going to be on a hamster wheel because no one's going to stop talking about shit that
Okay,
they're not doing
But
or
the
did.
elephant in the room that
Right.
they're leaving out
Right.
is academics platform,
Right.
Meek Mill's platform,
Yeah.
21 Savage's platform
Yeah.
are not controlled by our people.
Right.
The machine. And when I say the machine,
that's what 21
Yeah.
Savage
Yeah.
said. That's literally what he said. He was like, I can't even.
If 21, that's why I need you all to speak on like it.
Well, he made the point that even if
he
made the point that even if DJ Academics wasn't academics and didn't do the messy shit that he does, there would still be rap beef. There would still be diss
it's not
tracks.
about the rap beef. It's that the machine,
But
the
that was the
rap
conversation.
music is propagated, but for an agenda that is built on the destruction. And to build propaganda around the self-destructive nature of the Black community.
I agree. And I
if
think
21 Savage starts talking about, hey, start a farm.
Yeah.
Hey, stop killing people.
Yeah.
Hey, don't take that vaccine.
Yeah.
Guess what? 21 Savage will be looked at as corny, and someone else will be given a platform,
right?
Because the agenda these are not
exactly
vehicles controlled by. They are icons and images given access if you're willing to propagate self-destructive.
And honestly, that's where the conversation got awkward. It's because they were like all talking, and then it's like they subtly realized that they all were pawns. That they were like going back and forth and arguing about all these different things, making valid points, but then realized that they were all pawns.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird. It was like they were like, man.
But Academics didn't take accountability for his role.
He never does.
Do we expect academics to?
No, that's what Freddie Gibbs said. You can't keep doing.
But do we expect Freddie Gibbs to? Like, I mean, part of this is
any of the others,
but it's still in the sense of like, and I like Gibbs. I like I listen to all of their music. I mean, part of this is also in the corrosive nature, and I'm getting older. I'm about to become an old man. So it's like I have to have another analysis of what this music represents, even with the stuff I was listening to as a child and what was so accessible. But the difference, as they always say, and I know I'm sounding like an old head, but when I was a child, the options available in the space of hip hop at the turn of the 80s to the 90s allowed the mosaic of many different Black experiences. And even in the mosaic of all those Black experiences, all of them honor the knowledge of self through a Chuck D, through a Brand Nubian, through a X-Clan as the paramount thinkers in hip hop. Whereas that was something that I believe the executives in marketing and media no longer wanted to give access to. And we've even seen it as you talk about Jeezy, even with his current album. I remember the Recession 1 and people was like, man, that shit's whack as hell.
Classic.
But the community expected him to continue to talk about selling crack the same way he needed to. And I mean, he eventually was like, oh, I gotta go back to the old Jeezy. Because when he was saying that, like, it's a recession in the hood, we need to think about saving money, we'll need to think about blowing money.
Amazing.
I got a family, I'm thinking about maybe buying some property. People was like, man, that bullshit Jeezy talking, pull up this Gucci man.
Period.
Goddamn OJ the Juice.
That's
man.
literally what it was.
Because I'm gonna give a bigger platform to something else. Even through like what Piper Speaks, which is definitely a tool in America. Even when we think about Black capitalism. So Master P was definitely the embodiment of Black capitalism, but it was still a level of empowerment. But this is what goes to like part of the Lil Wayne story you don't know, but you sort of know. Cash Money was given the platform that Cash Money was given because the way Master P's thought process towards music was so capitalistic and it was just given too much power. So Cash Money was given more access, more money, more visibility, more exposure than everything Master P was doing, because it was like they did not want to see a Black man represent strength in the music industry like that. Because what Master P was doing, I mean, to just like, all right, I'm gonna just write Snoop a check. And I'm not even necessarily looking down on Suge or whatever, but like there were some gatekeepers in this industry. But Master P said, I'm gonna bet on me. I just need your distribution. and they never saw anyone make moves like that. Some of the moves that, like, as we know, the classic Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and Tony Draper deal, where all of them were indicted after they all said, we're going to build our own distribution service.
Right.
You know, Motown looking to partner with Ghana to create their own record plants in Africa. And those those rubber fields were burned down.
Wow.
And that was one of the primary catalysts that led to Berry Gordy saying, well, shit, I guess we gonna get into movies. Because I mean, part of this music has a lot to do with how we represent and how we identify ourselves, how we connect with each other. Like it's an incepted message in young people. So music has a lot of that. And within that music and within that stage, within that platform, within that influence, especially of young people, you know, and I do appreciate some of the strides that some of the rappers are taking. So I will look at this conversation now as you all talk.
I think you might like it, but I think you're still gonna say everything you're saying now, though, because everything you're saying now is the only thing that
because we need our own platforms.
And I think even more so is being vividly shown that we need our own platforms. Like
I mean,
it's crazy.
But we do have our own platforms. I will say this: we do have our own platforms. But not just to embrace them, but even like the value, right? Mm-hmm. So like, let's say like Detroit is different, right? There's multiple, podcasts that are on, Detroit is different, right? Mm-hmm. But in the scheme of all the media, right? Even though, Detroit is different brings you, a lot of heat, like, its distribution can't even match like the Breakfast Club. No. You understand what I'm saying? And it's because the Breakfast Club is going to, not only does it have the entire machine behind it, but people's identity with wanting to identify with the success of the Breakfast Club. Understood. Right? Yeah. Whereas when you talk about Detroit is different to people, the people who know about it will be like, oh yeah, I really like Kari, or I think it's cool what y'all are doing over there. I mean, but I'm just saying, and that's just one example, right?
I was just gonna say, like, what you're talking about, there's truth in it, and almost like every industry that a Black person tries to tap into. It's like, if you truly want to create a product or create a brand, it's not the fact that you can't do it or you can't be embraced, like you were just telling me. It's the fact that you don't have the opportunity to distribute on the masses of some of these companies.
You do have, let me take this, you do have the opportunity. It's the people that invest and the the understanding from like the people. So even another example, I have a whole nother platform, right? It's my online sustainable fashion magazine. I've been working on this thing damn near more than a decade, since 2007. Okay. Now I have gone to several, what you would call investors, for them to invest in my platform. Now, what I'm consistently told, I've gone all the way from your big, kind of venture capitalist type of people down to like individuals, but even to apply for grants and blah, blah. And one conversation in particular, but this is an example of like a conversation that happens often about my platform. I'll go have a meeting with an investor. The investor's whole investment platform is to invest in new media in Detroit, and new media meaning everything from tech to platforms like mine, right? And they have all these millions of dollars, and that's their job. Now they have I'm gonna say 99% of their investments are in platforms and technologies that don't exist yet, that are still being developed. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these are, I'm gonna call them concepts.
Got you.
So they've already invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into people's visions. Mm-hmm. Now, majority of these people, I'm gonna say all these people are white. Okay. And I remember having a specific meeting with this woman that's in charge of the money. My platform, not only it hasn't quote unquote launched, but it's been live for some time. I've done 3 focus groups, 2 in person in Detroit, one online. I got a host of data. I got 2,500 people who, are, I'm gonna say members or active between
subscribers to the content.
Yeah, they're subscribed to the content, and they either interact on the website or on some form of social media.
Okay.
Now that in the land of investment, that's actually real numbers, right? Like how it's doing.
Right.
So she tells me she can't invest because she doesn't understand what I'm doing. Mind you, it's a fashion magazine that has
pretty clear
stories on it, video is on it, lots of content is on it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so for her to say she don't understand what I do, okay. Meanwhile, I'm looking at these interesting concepts that may or may not even come out. Most of them, I can tell you now, I had the meeting in like 2018. None of the stuff that I saw has come out yet. Okay. But these people have hundreds of thousands of dollars to do, research and development, to, play around pretty much is what it is. With money, play money.
And that's
and not even produce nothing.
And that's
crazy.
Also part of like when we talk about the distribution networks, that's where the time and the commitment and the strength of the community and staying at it builds. I look at what
right, because I've had to build my own community, right?
Yeah, what's been done at HPR, RJ Watkins.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
And
what you're doing here,
and I just gotta look at them as the prototype of staying committed, being creative, and looking for that platform, but understanding in it that there are steps along the way that if the self-destructive attitudes, characterizations, looks of the Black experience and Black culture without the right context, because I like the context as that's really the layer that I think is missing from it. I was just watching that McGraw Avenue, and a lot of people are watching that on Amazon Prime, like a lot of those.
I keep hearing that about. Is that like behavior?
A Detroit? It's a lot of Detroit. It's a lot of like Detroit hood movies that have made their way on. One of my homeboys, Tristan. Shout out Tristan. That's like my homeboy from high school. Is an actor in many of it. He's in Child Support too. Another one of those movies and shit. But like these films, I think sometimes lack the context of some of the Black experience and the Black culture.
Yeah.
Even if some of it has flashes of reality, just like hip hop, it's the context that's needed to add value in the substantive draw that I think will add, and that's why our own platforms are so important. And when we have these platforms, we need to recognize that, it's not going to probably start off and get the steam of, like you say, of a Breakfast Club. But even the Breakfast Club, as the Breakfast Club is going on, we as a community empower that. Like,
that's
as
my
we
point.
go on the Breakfast Club, because we feel like, I'm gonna put every ounce. I'm going to put every ounce of exposure that I can when I get my Breakfast Club interview. Whereas when I get my Piper Carter interview, it's just like, I'm going to pull up.
Yeah.
But now I'm on the Breakfast Club. It's like, tell everybody and they mama and they auntie and they cousins.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Let people know.
The incepted idea of this platform.
It's like, I made it. Look at me. Look at me. I made it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Instead of saying like,
that's the value. It's the value part for sure.
Yeah,
it's the value part.
But so Deja, you're on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you Deja on Clubhouse or Katori or?
I don't even know.
You want to see? Yeah, I gotta follow you.
I think it's my real name.
Have you started a conversation, Deja?
No.
Okay.
No,
I haven't started one.
I haven't either. I don't know what it'll may be.
No, I just joined them. I do know on Sundays, and you could join too. Men could join on Sundays. There's a conversation.
They allow us in.
Yeah, and I think it's either women in music or women in media.
It's me and sliding.
And it's on. Is it like 8 o'clock or? I think it's like 8 o'clock on Sundays that they start the conversation. But it's pretty good.
I agree.
But I follow a lot of tech people, a lot of industry people, because they give really good advice. about like, you know, what to do. So, you know, you
Yeah.
can learn about everything new.
That reminds me of the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kari.
I was gonna say, and then just figure out how you slice it. I mean, it's so many different avenues for social media.
Mhm.
As I was looking at a workbook that I'm assessing, and people know I work with Well, if people don't know, I have my marketing firm, Creative Differences, that funds a lot of this stuff.
Hey.
So, you know, messaging becomes important when it comes to social media and how you want to convey what that message is. And then, you know, knowing what that value proposition may be.
Mhm.
I found Facebook one of the most effective tools for what I do.
With the groups or
for
the
Detroit is
Facebook
different.
page or
The
the
Facebook
groups?
page.
Okay.
Facebook
page.
definitely has a very like dynamic group of people. Like
You think so?
What? You got older people. You got people who just are on there for. I'm young, but I still should have this because I can talk to my cousins.
Mhm.
Like you got people who got pictures on there, so they can't let Facebook go. Like you have so many different target markets of people on Facebook. Like the older generation are the people that are still trying to find their way online. So
yeah.
what?
My mom hates Facebook.
But a lot of yeah, you definitely are getting an older demographic.
My mom hates Facebook.
No,
I be like, mommy, everybody's on here. She's like, I don't care.
I think I'm gonna look at doing more stuff on LinkedIn this year coming up too.
Oh yes,
And
that's my
Pinterest.
platform.
I'm gonna do
LinkedIn is powerful.
I love
and
LinkedIn.
Facebook.
LinkedIn is very powerful.
Let me tell you something. LinkedIn is where the money is. I
Aw.
get a lot of money on LinkedIn. That's where I get my clients.
Man, your bosses on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And my LinkedIn is so Trump tight, I didn't realize it. You know, it is. Like I go in there, like, and but the thing is, yeah, Kamala tight.
Kamala tight. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but it I like the platform. I earn a lot on LinkedIn.
That's
I mean,
powerful.
just these connections. I like Instagram is like a real go. It's like my normal. It's like a go-to for me is Instagram.
That's your center. Your center social media.
Yeah,
page.
that's my main one is
Yeah,
Instagram.
I look at IG
And
like
Twitter.
it's- Yeah, IG and Twitter is almost like, okay, when I think of Twitter, I think what is the nation thinking? When I
Yeah.
look through my IG, I'm thinking what's Detroit thinking?
Interesting.
So like I can kind of go through because it'll usually be a lot of feeds to my page, even though definitely this year Instagram advertising has over inundated so much.
Really?
It's like
I think so.
almost every 4 posts, they're trying to sell me something.
I
Really?
believe it.
Mhm.
I don't
Even
get
for
that
it-
on my feed.
Even for the It's Food Detroit, like I look at the ecosystem of who's on there, and it's all Black vegan chefs. Like
it's
good-
so many Black vegan chefs.
So there's
But
like
remember-
this whole ecosystem of Black vegan chefs. And
Yeah.
it's like if there's 200 of my followers are Black vegan chefs, that means they're advertising to how many people? So I already know like it's Instagram feels over advertised by my little ecosystem alone.
I don't know.
Like,
I just don't have all the advertising on my feed.
The
mm.
man knows you off the grid. The man knows they ain't even trying to sell the pipe.
I know. I mean, I do create a lot of ads on Instagram.
Piper, I think
though.
you got so much going on your social media. Like I feel like you don't really look at anything.
You think so?
I think you got so much going on. Like you're
my personal one.
See, that's what I'm saying.
No,
You
I mean,
got
'cause
more-
I got-
That's the point I'm making. You got a lot going on. You got different pages.
I got social media just for the podcast.
See,
But the thing is, I don't want to mix all these things because if people want to go to the
I don't blame you.
podcast, I want them going to the podcast or the women in hip hop
yeah.
or the fashion. Because like when I mix it all up, that's when people be like, "What do you do?"
I'm not insinuating that at all. I'm just
Okay.
saying that I think you do a lot of social media, intentional social media,
Mhm.
and I don't think you really like are using it to be like all up in people's lives. Like, I
I
don't think
really
you really
don't. I don't
stroll
look at
and be
people's stuff.
really looking at stuff.
Nah, P Groove does. He be on his feed. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And he'd be like, "Scrolling." I'd be like, "Why?" And he'd be like, "That's what you do on social media." I'm like, I don't scroll.
what's going on.
Like, do people use Instagram to like drop music and
Yes,
advertise?
people do.
yes.
The Instagram, and then also you got to think the Instagram post versus Instagram stories, especially since
Yeah.
updates, it's a different feel. And
Yeah.
you got Instagram TV, so
Yep.
it's like it
Oh,
depends
wow.
on what.
And the
you're
other one now, is it called
into.
Stream or what's the other one? The live reels.
Oh, real?
Yeah, and you got reels.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
depending upon what you're looking at it depends on how you're, putting it up.
So is SoundCloud considered social media?
I think so.
I think so, but
because it's sharing. You share music.
Mhm.
Is YouTube social media?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what else is?
You're engaging with the general public where they can get access to
God, I love YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most people
that's
do.
and so you are on social
I
media.
am on
It's
social
Google.
media.
That's you're on YouTube.
the
You're a
Google
YouTuber.
machine.
I am.
The Google machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, YouTube. I remember when YouTube started,
It's
and
gonna,
it was all weird, and it was just people on there just doing weird
Cat
stuff.
videos.
Yeah.
media is for sure cat videos.
It was.
That's so funny. I'm
My
just
cousin used to. I used to watch with my cousin, and I just thought it was like dumb.
yeah, me too for the
'Cause
longest.
I was like, "Can I play games now?"
That was at 480p. It was some
No,
low video quality
media is
back then.
changing though. Media is really changing. Like I think just the way that you guys talked about it from like a sound perspective, but I think things being exclusive, and I think right now if you want to learn something or like you guys are doing, like I feel like do it now because I think it's about to change. Like the pay, like I think the way people value
It
media is
already
gonna
changed.
change. Yeah, I agree. I just think it's gonna get to a point
They already
where
started taking people's money on the platform.
it's gonna be
Away from
hard to
content
learn.
creators.
It's gonna be
Right.
hard for people to learn things like they learning them now.
To get an OnlyFans on the
Oh man, he said OnlyFans.
My foot is on OnlyFans.
You got an OnlyFans foot page?
Yeah.
What's for the foot fetish people? Brittany, what's your foot? What's your foot?
The foot game alone.
You serious? You got a foot?
No.
Oh, I was like, are you kidding me?
My
That's
foot
a
ain't
real
that
thing,
damn
though.
cute. If I had a cute foot, maybe.
You get a little extra income.
Foot get to twerking.
Oh my God, y'all are
What was
crazy.
this cars on here? We can talk basketball. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
I feel like the conversation would be cool.
Oh, that's why you don't bring up basketball. You be like, Piper and Deja don't know much.
Piper, we bring up basketball. She be like, I hate Allen Iverson and I love the 89 Pistons.
Shout out. Hey, yo, heal up Curtis Blow. And when I think basketball, I always think that Curtis Blow song.
Yes,
So
yes.
heal up Curtis Blow with the heart transplant.
Basketball.
Exactly.
Are you into the NBA, Curry?
Yeah.
Basketball.
You never
is
hear
my
him talk
favorite
about
sport.
basketball all the time.
Wait, they
So
pull
do you
up and
think
down?
All his references are
Did you see the
basketball.
LeBron James interview? So LeBron James did this interview. Do you remember when he did the interview where he was like, I'm going to South Beach? You remember that?
I
Piper?
do remember the
What did he say?
decision.
The decision?
The decision.
I'm
It's
late.
when LeBron James empowered himself as a free agent and left Cleveland in the great Detroit destroyer, Dan Gilbert.
Mhm.
Oh,
did
this
not
is crazy.
Had a problem with.
So he
So
goes
then
on that.
he
right.
wrote that 3-page letter where he called him a Benedict Arnold.
and a
And
nigga.
then the media showed all of these pictures of fans burning LeBron James.
It was crazy.
Oh
He
man.
goes on ESPN like primetime TV, right?
What year is this?
This
This
is
is
old.
2008 or 9. It
Hold
was
on.
when he was going to Miami, the Miami.
Yeah,
Mm,
0708-ish.
Wasn't he on the Cavaliers?
Yeah.
Heat, but he left.
So he
chose-
goes, he does this
Mm.
big press conference. He's like, my
I'm
decision.
taking my talents
Yeah,
to
I'm
South
taking my
Beach.
talents to South Beach. And so everybody was like, this was ridiculous. He made all this money on going on national TV. He hurt the Cavs fans. And so Dan Gilbert was like, yeah, there'll never be another nigger that'll do me like this. In a letter, in an open letter.
He didn't exactly say
Say-
that.
but he
called him a
basically did.
Benedict Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
And people like me said, okay, let me pull out my Trina and Rick Ross albums
Uh-huh.
because it's Miami all the way now.
Okay.
No, but so he does this new interview and he doesn't really do like sit down interviews. Because he has his own platforms, like on HBO, he has the shop. So he does things on his own accord, right?
Okay.
He has his own marketing firm, his friends run it, he got his own sports agency. He kind of is the GOAT in his own way because he's a black man married to his high school sweetheart, got his kids. He just a man, low key. But
Okay.
anyway, so he
We
goes on
support
this.
off the court LeBron James.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Off
For sure.
the court. LeBron
Okay.
Even though
James.
it's a field a little bit capitalism, but that's part of the game, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, but anyway, Kari, so he says that the bubble championship is one of the hardest NBA championships
He
ever.
sure would say that because he won it. So I did not know about this interview. I've been hearing more about it, but I'm excited about this NBA season.
Me too.
But in the world of basketball, it was a player from the Florida Gators that was playing in a game yesterday that tested positive for COVID-19 that collapsed on the basketball.
I didn't see that.
Man.
Along the lines like years ago, it was like a great athlete, Hank Gathers, that played for LMU. Because one of the symptoms of having COVID, they say, even after you heal, is it could cause a condition in the heart that could lead to sudden heart attacks. So he, as he was approaching the bench during the timeout, he collapsed. He fell out. They were playing. It was a Florida Gators player. I forget his name, and Florida State. So things are still coming back together.
What did they do about
sports
that?
Looks like. I'm unsure as of right now. I know that was a big story yesterday.
I wonder, did they call in all the players? Did they call in all the players?
They asked the other players what they want to do, in classic athlete fashion. They were like, let's finish the game. So they finished the game, but they're both teams, they were crying. Their heads weren't in the game. They were out of sorts.
That's wild.
Because he collapsed what
during the game. It was like in the middle of the second quarter.
That's the beginning of the game.
So yeah. So I do think that just moving forward, we're looking at the relationship between money, sports, and health. And we're gonna see what happens.
Those games, are they because I didn't see them, are they like people are watching them, or is just the team?
It's just the team. So
is the teams, but you have trainers and everything. But with football, some of these football games have fans in the stands, and some of the baseball, depending upon the state and the state's regulations. But
I will say the NBA bubble, they get 1 trillion hand claps. They had no cases come out of the bubble. They did the bubble extremely well. Like, I have to give the corporate NBA like a lot of props, even from how the food was handled. The players, like when they first got there, it was like the thing where all the players were like on Instagram showing them how shitty the food was. So they were like, okay, well, what do y'all want to do? So all the players got together and like, well, why don't we get these pop-up chefs, all these great black small business owners, and get them to come in here and cater for the bubble. So then they have video footages of all these different women chefs, men chefs, different restaurants coming in, and you got to choose like for the day who you wanted to cater for, cater your meals. So they followed this one girl around. She woke up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. She had like 2 or 3 partners in crime. They did their prep work. They cooked for like different teams throughout the day. And then one team, I think it was Russell Westbrook, left her like a $20,000 tip.
Whoa.
That's what's up. I think,
what I'm saying? It was crazy. I mean,
I think it, this is where contracts and money kind of come into play. And then the same way that as a young child, that black athlete is being coddled. He grows older, he's kind of being coddled in that book. I'm forgetting the guy that wrote it, the $40 Million Slave book. Like, as a grown man, they're being coddled by these billionaires.
Period.
These old white guys, in the same way, because it's still like for sport itself, like sports itself. And I mean, it's a business, but as along with the business, it's also ego that plays into a lot of the sports and wielding of that ego. So moving forward, I'm very interested. I love basketball. It is my favorite sport. I like the competition. I don't know what to expect from this season moving forward, just because I don't know where people's heads will be at.
Triple B's.
I am definitely in support of what LeVar Ball has done in the Ball brother family.
Okay, wait. Can please give us an update?
Huge LeVar Ball.
So the last time that we checked in with LeVar Ball, we did actually do a show on him, but it was a while back.
Yeah.
And it was when he was hustling that shoe.
Wait.
That's one of the worst decisions.
He was selling.
That's a hustle.
He was selling the shoe.
He was
selling the shoe.
Back to the
so what's happened?
But let's talk about it, because it goes in alignment with you guys both just gave some knowledge on distribution.
Yeah.
So LeVar's concept of creating the shoe and having the product was very brilliant.
Okay.
But the issue is what people don't understand is, I hate to bring it up again, Kanye, when he did the Sway interview, when Sway was asking him, well, why don't you have your own? And
Right.
Kanye talked about distribution.
Right.
People don't understand that anybody can say, okay, I want to create a shoe. I'm going to draw it out.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to create it. But you have to multiply that by thousands of shoes.
You have to
create.
You have to just get it to your audience. Now you could tell yourself that that means that you have to jump into the machine and be a part of that, or
you
could create a whole nother distribution chain like what Kari's talking
Yeah,
about.
but
Because you're telling me that they got leather factories in Brooklyn, you got all these different manufacturers. There's no way that you have to be a part of.
But that's the point I'm making. LeVar wanted to make a shoe based on his sons entering the NBA to market his kids. That's fine, but you're creating a shoe where 6'5", 250-pound men have to wear it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Nike, Under Armour, Adidas are in the game, because not only are they distributors, but they know the science behind distributing a shoe for a male and female athlete.
Child slavery.
Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, agreed. All right, that's a whole nother podcast. But LeVar Ball, right?
Yeah.
So he technically has all three of his sons in the NBA.
Technically, he does have all three sons in the NBA.
Leandro Ball is playing.
Why do y'all say? Why are y'all using that word? Why are y'all emphasizing the word technically?
Detroit Pistons. He has a unique contract where it's basically gonna play him in the. I'm a huge fan. I'm not mad. Listen, I want him to play. I think that's gonna be pissed. No one, when the Pistons built the Little Caesars Arena, they took all of the tax fucking money. Excuse my language. They took the tax money
from the school,
and
from
it's
the
still
children.
empty. They can't. They bought in Blake Griffin, the worst NBA contract in the last 5 years. Horrible.
Yes.
And they still can't fill the seats up. So you got LiAngelo Ball, the middle Ball brother, who technically got picked up. Okay, he did get picked up.
Yes,
he got picked up.
He's in the league.
He's in the league.
That's all it takes. He in the league.
So
he got a jersey and he's on the team.
I think
if
they should play him.
If you look on NBAreference.com, it will be listed that he is a Detroit Piston in the pantheon of NBA history.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, he in the league.
But that's the middle son that ran into some trouble, right? He started playing for UCLA. They went to China. He stole like a pair of glasses out the Gucci store. Then UCLA put him on. So they suspended him, and then LeVar was like, "No, I got a better plan. I'm gonna take you to Lithuania.
I'm gonna make you a
and it worked out.
Paid.
Okay,
it worked out.
Pro.
It's kind of crazy.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, shout out to the Ball family for getting all three sons in the NBA. And
that's amazing.
And I think the thing they don't get the credit because they the way his father was present is such a different story from the black athlete with present parents.
Yes.
Usually around they'll go to those weird academies. So it'll be like their junior year. They're modeling. Their junior year, you'll live with this guy.
Some white man.
Probably the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the coach's family.
Yeah. And then you'll
stay, like Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
It's such the common story.
Yeah.
But now you got this black man that said, all three of my sons gonna be in the NBA.
And then he's with his wife.
Yes. Yeah. She had a stroke.
Oh no.
No, listen, this is crazy.
His wife
a
is
white woman.
Is Ofe.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
But listen, she's
but they married.
So he marries her. He says all these men in the NBA, they find these cute, prissy women, but talking about they want to create some beasts.
Yeah.
He was like, I went and found me a 6-something woman. I knew I wanted sons. I knew she was gonna be able to give me these sons. I could tell when I looked at her.
Wow.
She was an athlete. He was like, I'm an athlete. He breeded his sons basically.
Wow.
He was a little bit Django-y there.
Okay.
He was kind of sort of. But to be honest, I mean, yeah, it was.
Speaking of which, what's the deal on this American Skin movie with Nate Parker and Spike Lee?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it yet.
But have you heard because people are saying I've been seeing some posts already saying we don't want to see no shit like that. What is the premise of this?
Okay, that's gonna be our next show because let's dissect this. Is it out or we can watch it?
I think let me Google this, but
okay.
as you continue that, I'll look that up. American Skin. But as I look that up, you can continue talking about the good brother LeVar and what I expect from especially LaMelo because LaMelo looked like he's about to be pulling from everywhere.
He didn't score last night, but he had 5 rebounds in 2 minutes. Kari,
where is he?
He plays at Charlotte. He plays for Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
You talking about Carmelo Anthony?
No. Carmelo's in Portland right now.
Oh, who you talking about? LaMelo.
He's the youngest Ball brother.
Oh.
He's 19. He was the most he's the youngest. He was immature. He's all over. So the new thing in basketball is like basically like in music. Like when people want to sign you, they look at your following. They look at how many followers you have. They look at
For
your
basketball?
influence. Yeah, that's the new thing. These kids, they come out like in I say like 8th or 9th grade, they start creating their like brand on YouTube.
Okay.
This is the new thing. Like, or they shout out to the Hardys. You met Miss Hardy. She was at the pop-up. She was a little cute old lady. Her 2 grandsons are one plays for Oregon. And then the other one is playing, he's the number 1 point guard in the country right now.
Okay.
So like both of them, they're from here. Their dad, you might know Ramsey Hardy. I don't know if you know him, Barry. But just like y'all age range. But anyway, Ramsey's from here, play ball here, got injured, so like messed up his college career. Had 2 sons, put almost like the same LeVar story. Put everything into his sons, moved his son to Vegas because Vegas is where like a lot of the summer NBA sports happen. So it's a lot of networking. So that's what they do. They start recording these kids early. So LeVar, that's what he did. He got his kids branded very early. So they're triple B's. You got Lonzo, you got LiAngelo, and you got LaMelo. Okay. So at a very young age, they played for Chino Hills. It was the 3 of them. Like when Lonzo was the senior, the oldest was the senior, the middle was like a junior or a sophomore, and the baby was like an 8th grade. But then they let them play up. And all 3 of them were on the team. So that's how LeVar started marketing them. Like, my sons are the greatest, like especially when they play together. And then he'd talk real technical. And he started catching the people's eye, and he'd put teams together. That's what they do in the summer. They put all the good, like LeBron James' son,
the Drew League,
D Wade's son, the Drew League. They go to these different runs. The girls basketball like that too. And girls basketball is actually creating a wave right now because of how people are branding. Like, there's a lot of girls, they put runs together for girls and they hooping, like, and they getting their name out. So that's how basically the Ball brothers got a name. So people like them because LeVar is loud. Then they got a show. So the oldest son, he went to UCLA. I think he went all 4 years or 3 years. Was the number 1 3 pick. Magic Johnson, when he was the president of the or GM of the Lakers, he drafted him number 2. Had a decent. I'm not a fan of Luke Walton. He was a Laker.
The Lakers coach at the time.
Horrible.
And he didn't get along with.
Horrible coach.
He didn't get along with Lonzo.
Got a white boy, young white boy, Luke Walton. He's a junior, Bill Walton's son. Got a job, but can't coach for shit. Like, when I say can't coach for shit, brought in a younger point guard who is a true point guard, can pass, has IQ, can work well, can like basically run the floor. Basketball is, you want to run fast pace, but he didn't know how to develop him. So they ended up trading him because when Brian came, once a player like LeBron James gets to a team, either you fit LeBron James' way of playing basketball or you get traded, period. So that's what happened. So he still has he's in with Zion Williamson. He was a Duke, like what do they call him? A freshman phenom or a freshman something they call him. But he played for Duke. So he's with Zion Williamson, and Lonzo play for the Pelicans. So the middle child goes to UCLA too, right after Lonzo, the oldest one, but then goes away and gets into some trouble, like I just told you. So then his kind of messes his career up because he's like the weakest one. The youngest one is the fool. Like, he the youngest one, he the most attractive one. He's amazing at basketball. Like, he got a social media presence. He raps. Like, he got a, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's always like everybody's watched him grow up since he's the youngest. You've seen him since he was like 4 or 5.
He also grew about like 1 foot.
Oh my
in a
God.
matter of a year.
Yeah, he was like 6'4" and now he's like 6'8".
Wow. So that happens.
It does.
Yeah.
And so he went overseas, had a great run overseas, and then came back and got drafted 3. So once he got drafted, they were both training. The middle child and the youngest were both training in Detroit because of Jermaine Jackson, who was the coach of UAD Mercy.
Okay.
So Jermaine kind of is like a person that's like plays, like y'all were just talking about, that secondary father role, instills like real fundamental routine into players. Like, okay, you want to be a hooper, you got to have a routine. So he's that like second voice. And that's why he ran such a good program at UAD. So everyone was thinking that maybe LaMelo and LiAngelo would both get drafted by the Pistons, but the Pistons did end up picking up one of them.
Okay.
So
there we go.
it's going to, the season starts like Kari said, they want that money. The machine want their money.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of money Christmas days. So the
Mm.
Lakers just won a championship. What was that, Kari, in October? September?
September.
And they about to start another season now at the end of
Yeah.
December.
Or it may have been late August, but I know
Yeah.
it was.
And where are they? They're playing at these
They're
arenas.
playing
Yeah.
at the arenas, no fanless games.
Yeah.
How does it sound?
They
Sound like
use-
practice,
They
It
have
probably.
sounds
recorded
well.
audio.
They pump in
Yeah,
some
Deja,
crowd
what'd you say,
noise.
Deja?
They have like pre-recorded
Yeah.
audio, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's louder than like I was watching yeah, even that boxing match a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Which one?
Like that had that weak audio. The one
You
with
talking
that
about Mike
YouTuber.
Tyson?
Yeah.
I thought the
That was
Tyson,
great.
as far as the video, I've never seen a boxing match with video that good. It was one of the best.
It was good.
The
good.
camera angles. Now, as far
Mm.
as I really wasn't paying attention to the fake crowd noise,
Me neither.
but actually,
It was
some boxing
loud.
matches are depending upon where they're at. Because boxing, I love the sweet science.
Me
but,
too.
But boxing is letting in some people cabaret style seating
Mm.
because it's been a lot.
In
It's been an
Vegas.
abundance of cabaret style seating events
Yeah.
nowadays.
Mm.
Which in reality, being from Detroit, I love the cabaret style seating.
Me too.
I know Detroit is a cabaret
Cabaret.
cabaret capital.
Yes, but no, basketball is in a good place.
Get a setup.
For women specifically, the college circuit, the high school circuit, there's some great talents coming. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that the WNBA eventually doesn't drain itself. I hope that they find a way to market these women better. I know we say that almost every
I
time we
don't
talk
think
about
so.
basketball.
I think it'll be around.
It's gonna be tough, Curry.
This American Skin movie is very interesting.
Tell
Okay.
us about it.
Okay, here we go. Film had its world premiere September 1st, 2019, scheduled to be released January 15, 2021. And I believe Spike Lee is on as an executive producer for this, but Lincoln Jefferson, interesting name.
Interesting
for a
name.
character, a U.S. Marine veteran who works as a janitor at a prestigious junior high school, attempts to mend his relationship with his son after a divorce. One night during a routine police traffic stop, the boy is shot and killed in front of Jefferson. After the officer is cleared of wrongdoing without having to face trial, Jefferson is forced to take matters into his own hands.
Oh wow.
This is going to be an interesting film, especially being that if they plan on releasing this January 15th,
Right.
and Lord knows where the pandemic lies right then. But it's starring Nate Parker as Lincoln Jefferson.
Y'all remember Nate Parker, right?
Mhm.
You remember Nate Parker, Deja?
Was he in The Great Debater?
He was in The Great
I
Debaters.
love that movie.
But he also is Nat Turner.
Remember the Nat Turner scandal?
Mhm.
Nat
Yes.
Turner, Birth of a Nation is the
Mhm.
name.
Did
of
you
what
guys
he
like that
named.
movie?
I like that movie.
Yeah, that was a good
Now-
movie. But remember, it got
It definitely
it got
it def-
boycotted
yeah.
because of his alleged raping
Oh, yeah. I
the
forgot about
white
that.
girl, and then she killed herself.
Mhm.
I forgot about this.
Yeah.
That's wow. I forgot.
That was
And it's been, was that 2017
yep.
around there
Yep.
about?
I
So are
have
people
that.
mad about him being in this now?
I'm
no,
not
that
sure.
wasn't 2017. That may have been like 2015 or
Well, maybe
2016.
2015, 2016.
I think
Okay.
they were, yeah.
So we're looking at this film has Nate Parker, Omari Hardwick, or better known as Ghost to the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
I used to
And
think he
a
was
bunch of
so
people.
fine.
I am unsure of some of these other Anna Lynn McCord, Mo McRae, Shane Paul McGee, Michael Warren, and Theo Rossi. So
Sounds like a lot of new young
Oh.
actors.
I love
Oh,
black film. I
Dominic
swear.
Reyes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think,
Triggering.
this film will definitely
Yeah.
be interesting. It's already getting 4 stars. It's
Okay.
like 4 out of 10 stars on IMDb. So they're already rating this as bad. So I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
say to black people, Black America, I'm assuming.
But
this is
also
going
look
to
at
be-
who's rating.
That's what I was about
I-
to say.
Like I say,
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess this may be something like this is gonna be like Black Rambo type shit.
It could be. If
Yeah.
it sounds like he takes matters in his own hand, it sounds like
That's
Shaft.
what it's
I'm here for that.
matters into his own hands under that premise, and that Nate Parker still has the balls to do this after what happened with
with the Nat Turner.
Yeah, with Birth of a Nation. It's almost like, I guess he's just walking that path, because at one point in time, Nate Parker was looked at in the trajectory, I think, of being considered possibly a Marvel superhero. Where, like, he was in that space of rest in peace. I'm about to call him T'Challa. I'm really messing up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
rest in power.
T'Challa. But yes,
For sure.
Chadwick Boseman, he was in that space of like young Black, actors. He definitely could have been the Lovecraft Country dude. In reality,
well, did you like Lovecraft?
It seemed like they shaped that for that.
Wait, did you like Lovecraft?
Interesting. Have you all?
I love Lovecraft.
Everyone loves it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm the only one in America.
I'm here for sci-fi George Clinton Afrofuture shit. Like, they did that shit. Too. That shit was good. They gave me all that shit.
Okay.
I like it, but then it's like that black male take. It was certain things about it, but let's put it like this.
Of course,
I haven't seen a stronger Black woman lead character. I did not like the way that it honored the white lady character so much. And
Hippolyta,
then also, I thought that the one Black male that was like, that actually kind of did not seem like torn and bringing trauma to people. It's almost like they brought him back from death to make him seem traumatic and like oppressive. So it was like, man, this is some bullshit.
But
like, can we have a movie that I watch where Black men are not like,
I just think that we're ultra critical.
Abusive.
I just think we're ultra critical of ourselves. And if
you
we were
got
to,
that right.
And I think if we were to watch a white film, we would be able to piece it apart and be like, this is a white man being like this to his white woman.
I sure the fuck would.
I just think we're just I think
that.
because we struggle in Black film to get it right, that we're ultra like, oh, this better not make me mad or trigger me to any of my childhood traumas, or make me look like I'm a shitty Black man, or make me look like I'm a desperate Black woman. Like,
okay,
I'm sorry, like, you're in Hollywood, you're getting, this is not like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I just feel representation now in media is tough. Like, everyone has to feel like covered.
And I'm just saying, I just want a cool Black dude
That's
character.
cool too, whatever. As long as it's not corny.
Like last week with Michael B. Jordan on the cover of People with the mustache when they brought back the dad from 227. I was like I like this dude.
But I do understand because they did Titus. A
dad from 227 is
hilarious.
Like, he's a dude. He got a job. He loves his wife. He raises kids.
Yeah.
He lets Stoney Jackson come over and get some food from time to time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is a cool Black dude.
He said he let Stoney Jackson come over and get some food.
I'd say though, I have to read.
They don't know what you're talking about.
I have to rebuttal on Lovecraft because there was so many good examples of like Black women doing some like amazing
the Black
things.
women I thought were amazing.
Hippolyta, like she's
like I said,
a MILF.
The Black women were amazing in that.
Oh my God. Like, so, I've never felt more excited to be a Black woman after watching that show.
And as a Black man, I was like, God,
I do give you that. Because you had Tick, right? You had Tick, who was like super full of trauma because his dad was like a down low Black man in the 50s and like who was an alcoholic. And he
was a down low homophobic alcoholic.
Yeah, it was bad for Black. Like, but Tick was still amazing. Don't get me wrong. Tick was amazing.
That it's like God damn it, like when I watched
Tick could be my man, but Tick had.
When I watched P Valley,
but then this is the thing.
This summer, even though walking into Pussy Valley, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm probably not going to get the Clarion example, but here's but
I just feel as if like I want to see a Black man that has flaws and goes through things for character growth. What is wrong with that?
Okay, but flaws and how they go through things. See, because to me, they do that, and I think it's coming back for a second season.
I think so too.
Godfather of Harlem. I thought
I never thought I heard was
Godfather of Harlem. It's on Epic.
You talking about the documentary?
It is it's a television show with
because there's also on Netflix there's what is that one? The Godfather of Harlem. The dude that was from the music industry.
Yeah. But Godfather of Harlem is a show with damn. And see, this is getting older. The guy with the sleepy eye, and he is in Bloodsport, Last King of Scotland.
I love him.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yep.
Forrest Whitaker is playing Bumpy Johnson.
Right.
And it also ties
right.
the relationship between Bumpy Johnson, Malcolm X, and Adam Clayton Powell, right at like the intersection of the late 60s, and Bumpy coming back from incarceration to what a heroin filled Harlem is. So it's a very interesting. It's definitely loosely based on reality. But shout out to like Paulie, all my great historians that would know Javon or something.
Yeah.
So it's loosely based on reality.
Yeah.
But with this being said, I like the layers of some of the characters, and you're right. That show presents. Even
you can give me a Black Ken doll all day, but I'm sorry. Like I want to see. I don't know.
I'm not saying even a Ken doll, but it's like Chris Rock's character just from the
Pookie?
Fargo. From Fargo that just finished, where he's playing a black gangster. He's playing a black gangster in St. Louis, because I was thinking to myself, black people ain't in Fargo, but it's a black gangster from St. Louis. It's certain things where it's like, ain't nobody gonna do that. And then you also have J.D. Walker or Glenn Turman. It's funny how I remember all the old actors, but Glenn Turman, who I still look at as J.D. Walker, or the sergeant on A Different World, as people would say.
That is so funny.
That's funny.
I love him.
Yes. So he plays an interesting role, but like the flaws can exist, but like how the flaws exist. The same way that like sometimes with, for years in the 90s, it'd be like black women doing stuff where it's like a black woman wouldn't do that.
But it's funny you say that. I'm having a deja vu. Have you ever seen Two Can Play That Game, Deja? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I watched that last night. That was low key a good movie. Like black, I know that's like
Anthony Anderson at his best in his.
It was really good, but she really was giving game in that movie.
Fan in Piper Carter. Look at Piper's face.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
But what I'm getting at by saying that,
I like Anthony. I like Blackish, but it's just Anthony Anderson. Again, allegedly rapist.
Oh, I never knew that one.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
He beat it. He beat the
case.
I don't know if it was even a case, but there was multiple, there was accusations, and he was able to quiet it down, but yet and still,
I just thought you didn't like City Guys.
Have you seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
That's a joke. That's a joke for everybody listening that remembers what City Guys was.
Have you seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I still haven't seen that. Everyone says I gotta see it.
I don't know why you haven't watched it. It's actually, I told you it started off surface. But it was really good.
No, everyone tells me I gotta watch it. So
and then I hear about this show about Black Queen, where it's a woman playing chess.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's a black woman playing chess.
Where is it? It's on what is it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay,
I gotta check that out.
It up.
Or Master Queen. Let's see. I'm gonna really Google this because my homegirl was like, chess. "Can you teach me how to play?"
I love chess.
Can you teach me how to play chess?
Yeah, we need more black women chess tournaments.
I'm not great, but I can get around the board.
Queen Gambit. That's what it is.
Queen Gambit. Okay,
Queen's
I'm gonna look it
Gambit. It's a black woman. It follows a couple women, but a black woman's in that.
That's cool.
Playing chess, taken down, because my homegirl was like, "Do you know how to play chess? Can you show me?" And I was like, "I know how I can show you how to move the pieces, but as far as like really learning the
strategy,
the game,
you just gotta keep playing.
Yeah, I was like,
and get with people, and play with other people.
Yeah, like back in the day, the gods and the earths played a lot of chess.
Oh man, they play prison chess though.
Prison chess.
You know what I'm talking about? It's the chess they play where it's like 5 moves. You know about that, Deja? It's like these 5 moves. They can get you in 5 moves.
God.
Listen, at the gallery, they used to play that. And we used to have the chess boards at the gallery, and the dudes would come through like, "Yo, peace, God, what you got on the chessboard?" And they're like, "Okay." And then they come in, and then they do the whole 5 move thing on people. And, it was funny because it was an inside joke to us because all the white people would come for the artwork and the atmosphere, and they want to be part of the culture. And then they would, jokingly say, "Hey, young man, you got a chessboard here. You know how to play?" And he'd be like, I don't know. Like, let me see. And then he hop on the chessboard and whoop him in like the 5 moves, and the dude would be like, oh my God, Piper, this guy is amazing. Have you seen him? I'll be like, he beat you in 5 moves. He'd be like, yes. I'll be like, wow, you know.
But this is an interesting game because it's about
Trying to give him a Grant Piper.
I should have had a hustle. I should have run a little a racket. I had the kids there, like, okay, line them up.
Fresh.
Line them up when the tourists come through.
Fresh.
No, but see, that's anti-blackness, right? Because you see the little black kid with locks, you know what I'm saying, beatboxing on the table, and then he'd be like, just let me help this young brother. Let me show him some chess.
That would be.
Do
like
you know how to use this thing, young man? He'd be like, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, you know that would be like a Vice documentary. That would be like such a Vice documentary.
It would.
Like cultural appropriation.
It would.
Where like somebody be breakdancing and then playing chess.
I mean, that's literally what it would be.
Part of what Detroit is.
Yeah.
It's the hardest chess game ever.
But literally, that's how it would be when you would come to the gallery. It would be like people be over here playing chess, making beats, breakdancing, doing some graffiti, making some vegan food.
College museum.
Yeah, college museum. Like, people be battling, then they go outside and battle.
Outside some
you need a chessboard here. Yeah, natural optimism. Hilarious.
Natural optimism.
Some natural essence.
Yeah, it's a lot of natural optimism.
Yeah. Now natural optimism is recreationally illegal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hazel Park.
Always optimistic.
Yeah, there is Hazel Park, Ferndale. There's a couple other cities that the recreational game is like on lock now.
Well, they don't want Detroit to be able to have.
They don't want black people.
But you can have 12 plants.
Yeah, you can.
So you can have 12 plants, and it's probably better than what you would buy.
And you
aren't they buying like K2 at the gas station?
You can have 12 plants, and then if you have a caregiver,
and was it 2 ounces? You can have 2 ounces on you.
Yep.
And you can have 2 ounces on your personal.
Yep.
And you can grow 12 plants.
Yep. And then if you have a caregiver,
it's probably better for you.
More.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably better for you. Grow your own.
Still one of those things you can run into that Nate Parker situation where you're gonna need that American skin.
You're gonna need that.
Man, Jay-Z just got a strand of weed going. I'm like, this dude.
Okay, now this is what we gotta talk about within you said what some of these Jay-Z moves. How much are they Jay-Z?
That's what I said.
And
it's
how
like
much
Donald
are
Trump.
They his
wait. Let's bring up that. Okay, that brings us into that conversation that Deja brought last week. Can we just rehash that for a minute?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you tell Deja what you told me about that?
When I was listening to the podcast last week about
episode 99.
99. 99. Are you out of your mind? What is that, bro? 99. Are you out of your mind? Marketing sits in your head. It's like I've been conditioned.
Right.
My conditioning is conditioned.
My conditioning is conditioned. Exactly. You know that song, Brittany?
99. Are you out of your mind?
Hilarious.
Okay, but continue. So we were talking about the app.
Remember the app that's scamming from the app? Remember you brought that topic last week?
Jadakiss is like, hey, get on this mixtape. So he's laying this post. So my thought process when things like that happen, and this is in the world of like, even with what Brittany said, like for the average artist, they probably approach the artist like, hey, for $1,500, I'll post whatever you want. We saw this even with Kylie Jenner, where her price they said, which I think is much less, but in the Firefest documentary, they said, if you give Kylie Jenner $500,000, she'll post the orange color, and I'm going to Firefest.
Mm-hmm.
And then the link to the Firefest commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really think she probably got 50 G's, but I think for the average, most people will share a video. You'd be surprised for about $1,000.
They thought $1,000, yeah.
A G. I just think a G. Because
I think a G
about
too.
Because most of these artists and actors are on Cameo,
as
we know, and they'll actually give a personalized message.
Yeah.
So if I'll get my personalized message costs $500.
Yeah.
Then for me to repost some shit that you sent me, I'll do that for a G.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As many ways to transact money and everything. So, and technically it's not this is where we get into the legality. It's not illegal because Jadakiss never explicitly said, this is my mixtape and I'm going to be on it and it's going to feature your song. It's, I'm looking for unsigned artists to be on this mixtape. It's implied that Jadakiss, because he's a rapper, it will be his mixtape and he will be on it. Is it deceptive? Yes.
But it's the same. You know what I equate that with? Those flyers. So like, I know they started doing it in Detroit, but in New York they had these flyers, and they would say special invited guests.
Yes.
And the special invited guest would be, fill in the blank with
Jesus,
some celebrity,
Gucci Man,
whoever. Yeah. And then people would be lined up around the corner and then come into the club and be like, okay, I thought this was the meet and greet for such and such. And they'd be like, oh, he ain't coming. He can't come. And it'd be like,
usually they let you get in the club.
Yeah.
And you there for a minute. And you're like, hey, where? And it's like, hey, something happened.
Yeah, something happened. Right. But you having a good time, right?
Detroit got so bad. It'll be like the unofficial black party. It'll be like Jeezy's picture on the
right.
thing. Like no Jeezy's gonna be here, just his picture.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
With that, it's like the.
That's what I equate it with.
It's along those lines.
Yeah.
And these artists, like what Freddie Gibbs said, I agree with you, Deja. These artists, I mean, so much of their money comes from touring because it's one of the few things an artist can do, especially in the streaming age, where you really get to control the flow. Because if I release my album through streaming, like I'm Meg Thee Stallion and I release my album from streaming, it's hard for me to pull my album back.
Yeah.
If I'm Meg Thee Stallion and it's a crowd of 50,000 people, I can say, shit, I'm not going on.
Right.
Where I need to touch some cash. I mean, people, I don't know how many people know Aretha Franklin was classic for you're giving me cash.
Yeah.
I don't want no check.
Yep.
You giving me cash in the bag.
Yep.
Validate it. And we're gonna sit backstage
and count it.
And we're counting my cash.
Yeah.
Then I'll go on stage.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin set up that precedent back like,
rest in power.
Yeah, for sure.
Spanish Harlem days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of the few things you control.
Yeah. Because
you don't know with this streaming, it's still too hard to quantify how much of it's streaming, how much money you're making. Right. I'm hearing that this new, and I didn't even know it came out, but I'm hearing this new Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3 has streamed like, what is it? Like 4 times in 1 week what Meg Thee Stallion did. Logic just tells me that can't be possible.
Well, let me tell you what I have seen. I think we talked about it here before. I know P Groove showed me in China. I think it's in China. They have whole rooms.
Farms.
Yeah, you seen them? They have a whole room, and all it is like shelves full of phones. And then they go in there, and then they put it on the song, and then they just leave. Somehow they put it on like replay, and then all these phones in the entire room are like playing this song. And then you just pay them, and then they just stream it.
But no, that's factual too. The music industry has been doing shit like that for forever. I don't know.
I talked about that last week too.
Yeah, you talked about payola, but when I worked at Harmony House, if people are old enough.
Okay, do y'all remember Harmony House Record Shop?
No.
Okay,
well, there was a really popular record shop,
music store called Harmony House, and I worked at the one in Royal Oak, which was a classic one. Huge. It was my favorite job because I just love music.
If you're not from Detroit, it would be the equivalent of Tower Records, except it was Detroit based.
Okay.
So Harmony House or Virgin, whatever. But when I was working at Harmony House, it just happened to be during the release of Britney Spears' second album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the concept of shipping platinum, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We got, I want to say 600 copies of that CD the week it came out.
Yeah.
We probably sold 45.
Right.
And then we kept it on the shelf maybe for about, like we boxed up and lot and put them back in the back stock. And it shipped diamond, meaning like there were this many sold and bought by our record distributor to
Yeah.
sell.
Yeah.
But what happened is they would
Then
back
you sitting
catalog
on it.
They
Mhm.
sit on it. So the 40 that sold, and then over time, maybe 100 sold. So
Only
we took
using that to sell
500
more.
of CDs,
Yeah.
sent it back. After we sent back that 500 CDs, because she was connected to BMG Universal Distribution, our music buyers would say, all right, give us 5 Cat Stevens albums, give us 20 Michael Franks albums, give us 15 Whitney Houston albums. This is how the music industry was moving then. And what would be even more surprising is if music was released on Tuesdays then.
Yeah.
We
Fridays
would
now.
we would know how to stock the shelf, meaning I would know, quote unquote, the number one album in the country on Friday.
Yeah.
So how the fuck do I know what the number one album is before the shit even dropped? Because the industry itself already knew what the fuck is supposed to be, what the number one album is. During that time there, Gnarls Barkley's album came out. The first one was
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our stock is set up to only carry 7 CDs. Every time we fill up with those 7, they sell out that day.
Yeah.
We never could get more than 7, meaning that there was a demand for that,
Yeah.
but it was never met.
Right.
So, and the artists have complained about this type
Yeah,
of shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I learned more about the music industry working at a record store
Yeah.
than I ever knew, meaning that I don't give a fuck how many people demanded. Like, people were calling the record store, like,
Yeah.
where can I get Gnarls Barkley? Where can I get Gnarls Barkley?
Yeah.
Where can I get Gnarls Barkley? But connected to the machine, we could not stock more because they would say, we need you to sell more Britney Spears
Right.
or
That's
Beyonce.
wild.
That's what we've
or
invested in.
Ashanti,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck, or R. Kelly, whatever the popular artist was at the time, we need you to sell that. And even the aisle distribution, where things were placed in the aisle,
Yep.
had different placements. So it was so much. I learned so much about how much the record industry manipulated things.
Yeah.
And those numbers and those sales are so much smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I say my mind mentally, because I mean, Kid Cudi has been out of the scope of popular music for,
Yeah.
I don't know, I say maybe 7 years.
Something like
I'm
that.
a huge rager, so I will say Kid Cudi is.
We talking
kinda-
about out of scope of popular music,
Well,
not his
let's be-
fans.
I'm just saying, Kid Cudi is the master of emo music. So you
Yeah.
have to understand when people,
I mean, he is.
Little Uzi Vert, Young Thug,
Drake even.
Drake,
Because-
Travis Scott,
Yeah.
Saint John, like
Yeah. I mean,
it's
Kanye
all-
West.
it's Kanye, then it's Kid Cudi. So Kid
No.
Cudi is like a no, it's
I think it's the opposite. I think Kanye made that 808s and Heartbreaks after he heard what Kid Cudi was doing in Cleveland.
100%,
Yeah,
100%
that's true.
factual. No, I'm not.
That's true.
That's 100% factual.
So,
But
I
you have to
mean, if I'm the
understand. But you have to
original-
understand. Kanye still influenced Kid Cudi. Like Kid Cudi will tell
He
you that
did,
there's
but
no
if
Kid Cudi
I-
without Kanye.
Kid Cudi
There's like
was gonna
several
say
interviews
whatever
that
he
say
need to
that.
make the check, but
No,
Kanye
no,
heard
no,
that
no.
and said, "I'm making 808s." and
That's
Heartbreaks."
true.
That is nothing but a fact. But all I'm saying is that you don't have Cudi being that inspired to do his own thing without Kanye doing his own thing, like the college dropout and late registration and the graduation.
I see
You
what you're
don't
saying.
have it. You don't have it.
You saying that aesthetic
Yes.
built.
Period.
I give you that, but I'm trying to say that
Agreed.
Cudi interpreted that and created a
Agreed.
whole new world.
Agreed.
And
That's what I'm
Kanye
saying.
was like, "Let me sign him
Agreed.
so I can steal this sound
all
and
right.
repopulate." I'm just saying. I
No.
mean, this happens
There,
all the time.
it's
I love Dr. Dre. How you feel about Kanye? I feel about Dre. But when Dre heard what Scott Storch was doing,
I agree.
he said,
He did-
"Let's work on some music."
Drake
together."
does it too.
And then
That's,
the next thing you know, ding, ding, ding,
That's what the
ding,
machine
ding,
does. The
ding,
machine
ding,
steals
ding,
from each
ding,
other.
ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. And then you like, damn, this Dr. Dre shit sound nothing like Dr. Dre.
No, I agree.
Because that shit wasn't Dr. Dre.
no, all I'm
Right.
saying, I mean, that's the music industry. Like there's people who create sounds and there's people who mimic it. So what I'm saying is forget let's just leave Kanye out of it. Cudi is in has created a universe.
Yes.
So for that alone, like I do believe that some of them the streamers.
Oh no, some of it's real, but like when we bet on horses,
Mhm.
do you think that Meg Thee Stallion would stream like what did they say, like 45,000?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it
Like
is.
40
I just feel like
45,000
Kid Cudi has a
versus
fan.
Cudi streaming 175.
I believe it because Cudi is reaching. White people love Kid Cudi,
but he's not in the public.
but that's not the
sphere.
point. That's not the point. Eminem ain't either. But when M dropped, he about to do
And
a meal.
he's
I don't
definitely
believe
smoking
any
mirrors
streaming.
of him.
I'm gonna just be honest with you.
I don't either.
I don't believe any streaming numbers ever, except the ones for like independent artists. I feel like because independent artists aren't part of this whole machine thing, but even independent artists now are going to these services
Yeah,
that beef their numbers up.
yeah.
Because you'll see you'll go to all these random artists that you never heard of, and you'll be like, how do they have 1 million, streams? You
Yeah,
know, 1 million
yeah.
people not listening to this person.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying about G Herbo. Did we talk about him on
No.
the last?
No.
Or how, and I like some of 6ix9ine's music, as wild as he may be.
No,
but like,
sorry.
but
you-
within
give me a-
6ix9ine, within 6ix9ine's, like 6ix9ine would have like what 400 million views
That
or
shit
some
is
shit
crazy.
within 4 days.
I've never seen nothing like
Logic
it.
tells you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is some bullshit.
100%.
And I'm just saying, Logic. I agree.
Not
He
Logic the
has
rapper.
a rich audience that love him. But I'm just saying, just in the world of where people are at in the trajectory, the audience and everything in the music machine is really built to target people. I want to say between the ages of 9 and 15.
I believe.
Yeah.
The average
Yeah.
9 to 15-year-old looks at Kid, don't even know who the fuck Kid Cudi
No,
is.
I agree. I only mentioned Kid Cudi just because our viewers probably don't even know, listeners don't even know who Kid Cudi is, half of them. So I just wanted to separate the fact that Kid Cudi is a
He's-
demigod when it comes to music.
He's
But-
amazing.
But at the same time, it doesn't take away from my point of letting them know he's a demigod. Doesn't take away from your point of that is rigged.
And I'm just saying the machine itself is massaging so many of these numbers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you look at some of these YouTube views and then you look at some of the logic behind some of the moves they're making where it's like, yeah, it's a lot of smoking.
Yeah,
Even
Yeah.
the Instagram followers you have,
Yeah.
Twitter followers you have,
Oh, yeah.
the shares you have, like,
and then so much value is dependent on it. That's the annoying part, right? Like we just talked about, like they'll look at you and be like, oh, you have this many followers on Instagram, you have this many likes on this post, so yeah, we want to give you a deal. Like
yeah.
it just and it's all rigged, but that's where people hold value. Like that's how people are getting deals and money and
Which is interesting, and you can always tell because of the comments. Because how does someone have 4 million followers and then I don't know 500,000 likes on a post and like 2 comments?
Right.
Exactly. That tells you
Right.
it's all some bullshit.
It's all rigged. Yeah.
Yeah, because and then also like when you look at when those comments were made and what those comments say,
Yeah.
versus when a video has real comments, because usually in the comments you still gonna get the person that say like, hey, buy my
Yeah.
but you're gonna usually get somebody to say stuff that you're thinking as
Yeah.
you're watching the video.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like tonight, and his versus battles are very revealing too.
Yeah.
They
Show
are.
how much influence some of these quote unquote old artists
Yeah.
still have over the general
Mhm.
public.
Yeah.
So it just tells you that the only thing that these old artists don't have is the machine doesn't back them
Yep.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because
That's
the
so
audience
true.
base there still for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
many people will watch the Gucci versus Jeezy
I
versus,
know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like 2 million something.
It was 1.9, 1.2 million.
Yeah.
so
It's
if
right
that
there.
many people will watch their versus battle,
Yeah.
then obviously, and I thought that had the versus battle thing has minimal, not like the whole machine ain't behind it, because I think it really is something
see
more
what you-
independently done
Yeah.
through Swiss, even though they've partnered Swiss and Timberland, though they've partnered with Apple and all that
Yeah,
stuff. It's
yeah.
still not like it's not like Apple Music.
That's true.
Right. Right.
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
They have not bought
There's a
a
lot of
venture
potential. There's a lot of
partnership.
potential to do
Yes.
for them
Yeah.
to do some cool things with that versus. They
Yeah.
but
really
the machine will want more control.
The machine is gonna
they
want
gonna
more
have to-
control
I
over
hate
that.
that. I
and,
hate
and,
that.
and I think because the number one thing is it's always easier to exploit a young, naive artist
Yeah.
versus an older, like an Ashanti, like what was
I
it
love
supposed to
her.
be yesterday? Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
Yeah.
Ashanti and Keisha Cole have so much industry experience.
Yeah.
They're not willing to be exploited the same way. They're gonna. You present them with options, they're gonna be like, all right, my attorney and my manager gonna
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Whereas you present that to G Herbo, he's like, Shit, fuck it.
Yeah. Speaking of G Herbo,
G Herbo.
what was you about to say?
That he's under fire for scamming because yeah, he's just under fire for scamming.
I saw that.
What happened?
I didn't look at the Scamiana. What he actually
What
did.
happened?
I don't know if
Deja?
it was loan scams or unemployment scams, but he's on trial right now. They're looking at all of his friends and not just friends
So
but
is it RICO?
associates.
Is it RICO charges?
Yeah.
Or is it,
I think the Casanova is
him?
Rico.
Yeah,
Casanova's the Rico charges. I don't
Yeah.
think G Herbo's is as thick as Casanova's.
No, but he kind of snitched though
On who?
Wait,
himself.
Mm.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He self-incriminated.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So wait, what
We
happened?
got a lot to talk about. This
Well, I don't know the full story because I was watching it on Instagram and well, not like I was watching screen recordings that somebody else took from Instagram and put on Twitter, and I'm like reading the comments trying to figure out the context and the story. But my
Where
friend
comments matter.
right,
They do.
exactly, because
Mhm.
context, because I don't understand everything, and then I
And
also
people do
see-
be like, I'm here for the comments.
Yeah.
yeah, and then you see different perspectives because other
Yep.
people know, people know different things, but also some of that information might be false, so you can't believe everything you
Yeah,
hear.
but you
Mhm.
can get some knowledge in the comment section though.
Yeah,
Some people be
word.
laying it out.
Word,
Mhm.
yeah. So one of the associates of G Herbo that got caught up, I guess something came out about him getting his cars taken from the government or seized or something like that.
Okay.
And he came out and said that it wasn't him and it was actually G Herbo or something like that.
Wasn't
And
me.
yeah, and then G Herbo was
Wasn't me.
like, he took video of all of his cars and said, all my shit is still here. I'm Gucci. Like,
Oh, I seen
he was
that.
bragging on all of his stuff, just incriminating himself because he can't afford that off of his music.
Yeah, that's a good topic. So
He doesn't have the sales or the fans or anything. He's YouTube famous.
That's true.
Now with that, there is something within YouTube fame, but also flossing for that style of rapper.
He's dating Emily B's daughter,
I don't even know who Emily B
Fab-
is.
the
Fab-
girlfriend
Fabulous.
of Fabulous, and they have a child together. They've been with each other forever.
So
Fab-
Fab's baby mama?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So
his,
is that
his stepdaughter basically.
okay?
And he even said something on
His
the
Lori
internet
Harvey.
about how he said, basically.
But do y'all
he
like
said something on the internet too about how the system always tries to bring down black men.
man,
did?
I get okay, so
Fab around the
Okay.
time that Herbo was
But
caught up in
Fab
the
is
he
He's
said
older
being a
now.
rapper. He
but
said being
Fab
a
gets caught up a lot too.
Fab said being a rapper is a
Fab
tough
did,
job.
Naturally, I saw him. put
I mean,
his
because you
hands
talk a
on
lot.
Yeah.
So,
You're a rapper,
Period.
you talk a lot.
But
Yeah.
the DJ Vlad, this is on the Ash Shaw. So
Yes.
the DJ Vlad stuff is wild. I
Which-
do
which
not
part?
like DJ
Okay,
Vlad.
Okay, which part?
That he's the Fed. That he's the
Stop watching
So-
Vlad since,
yeah.
Godfrey
Cancel Vlad.
And
Period.
Lord Jamar.
said-
Yeah.
period. He does not deserve.
I
But
love
how
Lord Jamar.
Okay,
long
so
have people been
it's
saying
unreal.
stop watching Vlad?
It's
How long?
unreal.
How long?
Forever.
How
Forever.
long?
I'm never
Let me tell you something.
watched it.
Back in like 2013, from 2013, people been saying stop watching Vlad.
In
From
Casanova's
2013.
In Casanova's case, they said they used parts of Vlad
Yes,
interviews
they
to
did.
incriminate him.
Mhm.
And so Vlad gets real particular. Like,
Yeah.
he says that it makes him mad when people say that he's the feds. But
Yeah.
I mean, I clearly have studied it because I never watched Vlad interviews. So I went and watched Vlad interviews
Yeah.
to study him.
Yeah.
He is a fed.
Wait. I don't necessarily, but
But
What
if,
makes
he's not,
you
if, he's not
wait.
if he's not the fed,
he
Yeah.
he is
definitely-
definitely not for the culture. The way
He
he asks these
definitely
niggas these
concerned-
questions.
But he's
Wait,
also a
wait.
Jewish kid
Oh, man.
that
He's
there's
the
a fan.
worst.
He listen.
the
This is a. Now, I don't know where
Yeah.
Vlad is actually from,
Oh man.
but I'm going to
say
tell you.
Russia. They
Yeah.
Okay.
say Russia.
But the thing
Vladimir.
is, in New York City, okay, and we have a whole group called the Beastie Boys that are from this culture. In New York City, it is very common to have these Jewish kids that
Paul
are from
Rosenberg.
Brooklyn, that are from Queens or Manhattan, but mostly from Brooklyn and Queens. Oh, what's the name is one of them? MC Search.
Yeah.
Okay. You have these Jewish
Marshall.
kids and they are from the hood, meaning they're from, close. They're not from the projects, but they're from the neighborhoods that are close to, the
A
projects.
block away from 8 Mile.
Right. And so the thing is, they grow up in hip hop, right? So they're not only are they fans, but many of them have the backing, okay, to be able to support some of these artists. And so what has happened culturally, this is a very New York phenomenon, but you kind of see it everywhere else. Because they are able to support them like financially, then they become part of the culture.
Yeah.
So they
By
might
default, like
they might front the label. They might have like a small label. We saw it with
Delta on paper.
what was the name of the label? Raucous. There was Raucous Records did that. Okay. Now, and I mean, and Vice. I mean, there's these different, things that are, Complex Magazine. There's these different things that are, part of, the culture, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
where they're important pieces of the culture, but they're funded by these white kids that are grown now, but
even
Loud Records,
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, Loud is
Steve Rifkin.
who's a huge pantheon of artists that we all love and adore. But I'm just saying this to say that many pieces of our culture were brought to us by these white kids.
I hear you.
Who were fans, but then back to Kari's original point, because they were operating outside of the matrix. You get what I'm saying? But they had enough money to kind of be on par with Matrix.
With you.
And then they were able to take these pieces that were super cool and put a lot of money, behind them, and then lift those parts of the culture up. You understand what I'm saying?
And
Vlad fits into that. Vlad fits into that.
I got points for that too, because yes, this has been going on even before. This is predates hip hop. This is blues. This is jazz. This is funk. This is soul. This is R&B. So almost all forms of definitely Black music entertainment has been accompanied and ushered through. A lot of times it's Jewish attorneys and parts of their culture that go into business. So
they don't want you to say that though. That's the crazy part.
And the strange thing, or I don't want to say strange thing, but the usury element, let's use a legal term. The usury element of it is that it disrespects and it negates the layers to me of what our culture represents. So when we talk about Vlad interviews,
and I want to say something about Vlad interviews, is my issue with them as well. I told you guys I watched it, so to articulate on the Fed is that's why I like you, Kari, and that's why I like Piper. When we have a guest on here, we're talking to them about their story as it relates to what they do. We talk to them about music. We bring out the things in them that makes them want to talk, makes them when Head comes here, right? He came here and he stayed here for 3 hours and talked to us because we was talking to him about his music, his legacy. You get on Vlad, he wants to talk to you about open cases. He wants to talk to you about
because he's trying to sell media.
But part of that also, this is where the usury element comes into play.
Right.
And then this is also the enlightenment of the young brothers too, because their enlightenment is looking at incriminating themselves on record as something that's a sales point.
That's true.
I mean, even to the point where, and it's almost come about again, definitely in a lot of the Chicago music, but when I was younger, it was a rapper that was more popular, Spice One.
Yeah.
And when people was like, oh, Spice One a fake gangster, when people found out that Spice One did not murder people stopped listening to Spice One. That impacted his music. Because people wanted Spice One to murder people.
They wanted him to be a murderer.
And even when you looked at that Gucci Jeezy versus,
that was crazy.
Built, it was a lot of the comment section what these niggas gonna do.
Yeah,
but that made me so mad.
It was a layer of people that wanted to see one of them shoot each other.
Yeah,
so the concept, when we think about what this music glorifies and how it's exposed without the context of what I say, the traumas associated with the violence that exists that can rationalize these inhumane acts.
That's what makes Vlad even more horrible.
But Vlad also,
Vlad is a part of that pantheon. Because this is my thing. Let me just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
We throwing Vlad in the trash. Throw the Breakfast Club in the trash.
I do.
Throw Complex Magazine in the trash. What's some more of these all these record labels in the trash.
The number one version of what Vlad is. Vlad is just the hip hop version of TMZ.
Yeah, throw TMZ in the trash.
Because they're exposing, they're using quote unquote, they're taking advantage of what's labeled as a celebrity in a vulnerable position, knowing that this will be exposed. But we as a public also feed into that. So because Casanova knows, Sada Baby knows if I talk about beefing and my open cases, this is going to get quote unquote more exposure. Because if I talk about, hey man, I'm just raising my kids right now, you know what I'm saying, and I'm really focused on that and picking the right baby stroke.
Yeah, and working.
Not going to edit or post anything like that. Furthermore, the machine and the algorithms aren't going to propagate anything like that.
I get it.
So like so what I look at, like when I say, is he a part of the feds? I would say the machine itself is the feds.
Oh, definitely.
So
Facebook is the feds.
Yes, Facebook is definitely that. So we need to be mindful when making our actions anytime. So the concept and really I would look at the stuff, but even with I would have had more respect for Vlad if he wouldn't have been so
disrespectful.
Because the way he responded over the whole Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Because he usually acts like I'm not a this, I'm an atheist, I'm not
that. Right.
But to go as far as to get in his feelings about the stuff that Nick Cannon said, and what Nick Cannon said wasn't even.
Right.
Wasn't even he didn't even offer anything that can't be even validated through book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not like Nick Cannon was saying like Jews smell bad and fuck them all, they deserve to die. He didn't say anything like that. He was speaking of historical facts.
Yeah.
And he took that as besmirking their character because the Anti-Defamation League and different things like that. Like right now,
let's keep it a buck. The Anti-Defamation League is a right-wing organization that tries to front itself like they're all pro, they're definitely pro-Israel. They are Zionists. And they are, the Anti-Defamation League is the worst. They do not represent what I would say Jewish culture.
Yes.
The Jewish culture is so interesting, man.
But the culture versus the part of that's in the machine is so different.
Yeah.
And then even the way that it coddles.
Even where they meet is interesting. Like the Orthodox, where I was getting is there's some Hasidic unorthodox Jews that are now doing vlogs on YouTube because they feel as if they have bad reputations and want to give people more insight on their lives.
But I would be very mindful, but like in reference to the machine, their culture, especially around some of those professions when it gets to entertainment. So it's like the Jewish attorney introduces you to the Jewish financial manager, introduces you to the Jewish real estate investor, introduces you to the
all
Jewish
their
money
cousins.
Market account, and Piper just went to the next level. It's all their cousins. It'd almost be like if one of those Jewish people wanted to come to the hood and I don't even know what industry I would say, not even know like street shit, but like if they wanted to come to the hood and just and be, be able to sell a newspaper on the corner of Davidson. And I'm be like, all right, so to sell a newspaper on Davidson, what you're going to need is you're going to need to go buy some shoes from Piper.
Yeah.
You're going to need to buy a truck from Gyra.
Yeah.
You're going to need to go buy to pick up your papers. You're going to need to buy, dispose
Get
of
your
all the
ink
ones you don't
from, Brittany.
From Brittany. Now, you have a beef with your manager.
Yep.
Your whole machine
is crumbled.
That really was strengthened on their fathers were managing Barry White. And their fathers was managing Little Richard.
Yep.
Their fathers was managing Scott Joplin. And their fathers was doing fucking vaudeville and minstrel shows.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, so the minute you have a problem with one, you don't get access to none of the rest of the shit.
Which is where the whole Master P thing came, where it was like, oh, okay, well, we don't need any of that. We'll do it ourselves.
And that becomes dangerous.
Agreed.
Even like here's the one that like a lot of hip hoppers did not like. Also, another major quote unquote money making capitalistic rapper of even some of the things that MC Hammer was doing with like the way he set up his tour. I'm gonna take this artist. I'm gonna take that artist. I'm gonna hire these people because the way he did it with his brother, quote unquote, managing his money. Because they also know a lot of accountants. but those accountants also know people that work for the IRS.
Yeah.
So when you say they're the feds,
Yep.
they've been the feds.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're not going along for the get along,
Yep.
is when you run into problems.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what G-Herbo did. I don't know what Casanova did. But like some of these challenges and some of these issues that a lot of these rappers are walking into blindly, sometimes inebriated, very young and naive, immature,
full of ego.
Definitely a lot of ego. They're being pandered to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't even recognize some of the things that are going on. So I would go as far as to say,
and the way they treat them is different, because when you come into the game, it's like, oh yeah, you know, Deja, you are gonna be the next thing, and so here's a thing that you want, and here's a dream you said you want to have, and here's something that you named, right? And then we get your project done, and then you get a bill, and you're like, well, wait a minute. I didn't what is all of this stuff?
I didn't
you know, what's all this stuff on all this bill? And it's like, well, Deja, you said you wanted to go horseback riding, and so I had my cousin buy you a horse. It's like, well, I want to buy a horse. I just wanted to ride the horse for 5 minutes.
And you can't take that back.
And you can't take it back.
But when you owe on it, guess what? That cousin ends up with that Clydesdale
again. Yeah.
I mean, Rick James' whole story, MC Hammer's whole story, like the machine is so built to feed itself, meaning that because it's so hard to work outside the box of what they label as. And the number one thing is they label all of the people they're referencing as their professional. Yeah. If you bring in your cousin or your
they're unprofessional.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but they put that in your brain. The same thing with the NBA. They put that in your brain, right? And then it gives you anxiety and fear, right? Like, I want this label, I want this life, I want this thing, I have my dream, I finally got my success, and I don't want. And what they put in your brain is all those other people. You don't want to be around those other people because they are going to prevent you from your success.
Yes.
Well, but one of the things that I don't want to get into it too much is what you brought up, Kari, is it's like you can't even say anything about the Jewish community. If you say like things that we're talking about right now, if we were attached to a brand or a platform, they would be suspending us.
I'm not even attached to nothing, but it still sort of hits my gut where I have to make sure I'm labeling. Yeah. I'm mindful about the way I speak, but I definitely am even more mindful too, because I work in a space with creating messaging where I know that this shit could be construed as defamation when it is never any. I have no destructive intent in what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I've witnessed over time. Like, we think of like, okay, a guy from Highland Park, Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson, Michael Jackson idol, was the biggest star on earth at one point in time.
Yep.
And when we think about the way Jackie Wilson died, of basically trying to scrap together some money for his burial and everything, and shout out to his daughter and everything, Brenda, but it's a damn shame when we think about that world of music, because the machine and the mechanisms controlling money. Joe Louis, an athlete on the athlete end, was the biggest athlete. He was the first well, I guess Jack Johnson sort of, but Joe Louis post World War II was the largest athlete in the world. You know what I'm saying? But he still died having to do exhibition fights against bears and shit like that because of money he owed to the IRS. Because there's also a relationship between the IRS and these people, quote unquote, that are in your team managing what you're doing with your career. So like when you say they're the feds and what goes on.
I shouldn't have said that. It sounded like the internet.
No. What you're saying is real. But this isn't the consciousness I think a lot of artists seek. Busta Rhymes with the album he just dropped.
So good.
A lot of Busta Rhymes is not going to admit to you that, well, he rarely speaks on it, but Busta Rhymes has been climbing out of the debt that he's been in for those very quote unquote expensive videos in the late 90s.
Yeah.
For like what? The past 20 years.
And that's a part of what I'm talking about is, when people say, oh, which is true, when they say, oh, Puffy, doesn't, pay the artist and this and that, right? That non-understanding or that ignorance about how money works and the business and like, all of the people or things that have to get paid for in order to do your project. When they create your project budget, right? What they do, like Kari said, they give you a financial advisor, they give you an attorney, they give you an accountant, and then all these people explain to you, you understand what I'm saying? Your budget and your contract, like they explain these things to you. And then in the explanation to you, what they do is tell, if you're looking at any legalese, it could be even something simple, just to be honest. It is very difficult sometimes to understand exactly, right? Like what's going to what. And when you see a contract and it says 2 points, 0.2%, blah, 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 that doesn't sound like a lot of money. But when it is all said and done, what the artist does not actually understand, which they probably understand a bit more now because of 360 deals, is every single thing that you do that's connected to this label, you're paying for. So they don't tell you that, okay, what they tell you, this is how they get you. Oh, Pipe,
I'm giving you a deal.
I'm getting not even a deal. I'm gonna hook you up.
Yeah.
With this clothing line. And we're going to get you this endorsement for this clothing line. Now you got this whole endorsement, you think, for this clothing line. You wearing these clothes. Next thing you know, you got a bill for all the clothes that you got.
You was wearing.
Everybody that was with you, but they told you that you was given
the
this.
other X of it.
Yeah.
For Britney Spears' album, guess who was paying to get those 500 CDs back?
Britney.
The Britney Spears machine.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're still even owed for the press, the distribution. Like what and when I say it's a loan, they present it to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I came to you and said, hey, here go $1 million deal, that's different than here's $1 million loan.
Yeah.
With probably an unknown amount of interest.
Yeah.
That's in perpetuity for forever. And you start questioning this shit.
Yeah.
Because you connected to me and my cousins run the rest of your business.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it hard for all the shit you want to do.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? So you think you starting off saying, I'm getting in the game.
Yeah.
And that's where even being independent, it becomes tough because if you quote unquote, the gatekeepers, the people with influence, the people with flow, the people that control some of these distribution channels need to, hence, I need to be making a piece off of this to present this to a grander scale. Because if I don't make a piece off of this, then why I would rather have the one I make a piece off of, get a piece off
even
of.
if it's crappy.
Yeah, like people ain't gonna tell you this, but Piper definitely knows, working with those models and stuff. Drake was on a Disney show.
Mm-hmm.
When Disney,
well, no, it was Degrassi. Nickelodeon.
But still, it's along the lines.
I know what you meant.
When you're a child star, what are those deals for a child star? It's for perpetuity for all the shit you do the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon is getting a piece off of everything Drake will do for the rest of his motherfucking life.
I believe it.
Almost on some Little Rascals shit.
Like I made you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, and sometimes they'll just sign, models really have, a lot of that. They'll just sign you and you're in that mix for forever.
Oof.
It don't seem like that. Like Nick, unless you got, and hence that's where gangsterism comes into play.
Yeah.
You can't gangster Nickelodeon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's crazy, right? Because this is the thing, which kind of ties to some political stuff. But if you look at, no offense, but if you look at like a Trick, if you go on his Instagram or whatever, he'll be on Instagram like every, day talking about what y'all need to do, or even Royce the 5'9", this what y'all need to do. Y'all ain't doing this, y'all ain't doing that. They got the no-fly zone, and you can't come to Detroit with this, can't come to Detroit with that. Meanwhile, for how many years were Detroit artists missing from the pantheon of the machine? There was a whole person called Eminem.
Yeah.
And that whole thing that prevented any artist from coming out of Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Up until a Big Sean made a way, right? But through that was a different camp, right? Because that had nothing to do. The whole Kanye didn't have nothing to do with the Eminem. And that was like, okay, but even with the Big Sean, he hasn't, the first time that I've seen him quote unquote reach back was Cash Doll, which is how long has Big Sean been out to do any reach back. Well, maybe a Dej Loaf, but I mean, even with that.
So that is funny. I don't know if y'all are into battle rap, but Math Hoffa has a podcast where he invited some Detroit artists on, and they went through all of Detroit's history of Big Herc, and they went back and explained Blade Icewood and the Detroit sound. And we're talking about how Trick and them get a lot of flack for the whole Detroit payola, but they said that they created that quote unquote because the machine never reached back to Detroit artists after Eminem.
Yeah.
Like no,
but because
they blacked Detroit out.
Yeah, they blackballed Detroit.
And they needed to, because if you had a true representation of Detroit,
right,
competing against the image that they created around Eminem,
yeah,
then they'd be like, oh, well, this motherfucking lying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
And so with Big Sean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say is just so with that type of, you know, system in place, meaning the no-fly zone and all of that, even with that, to me, I don't think that they actually maximize the potential, right?
I don't think so either.
Of what that could actually be, because even to this day, you know, okay, certain people can't come into town, right? But you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really support, right? Like an ecosystem. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's just like, okay, this one crew can prevent this one artist from like performing at this one show, but like in the scheme of things, right?
Get nobody signed.
It doesn't. Which is where a Jeezy was really important to Detroit, because a Jeezy did, you know, come back and then be able to, and on a smaller scale,
cash out for sure.
Yeah, on a smaller scale, you know, make on a smaller scale, but you know, on his terms, his level. I'm saying, but in the land of, when you hear the stories about the no-fly zone, you would think that had actually created this entire ecosystem, but it actually really didn't. It was really just, okay, you can't come here today and perform at this show, but like, where are all the artists? You understand what I'm saying? Like all of that, like where's all the artists that's coming like from that?
And it's unique because, first off, you know, I'm Detroit rapper that look up to Tricky. Like one of my first shows was connected to the Goon Squad camp and Click Boom, and you know, when we talk about indictments and the feds, they face some real shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's real. It's real.
But so it's like, and then I've seen the maturation of Tricky over time, and then where things even went with that. Like I do think that you have layers of stuff. You know what I'm saying? From Awesome Dre smacking Russell Simmons' cousin. Like it's certain shit that's happened in Detroit rap hip hop history that make Detroit different. But Eminem is definitely that figure that like you didn't need any competition. Eminem and Kid Rock became figures that you needed a idea to exist in a worldwide and national scope of what Detroit is. That's so different than I think what Detroit truly is. Yeah. Even though it may have certain aspects of what that was.
I agree with that.
Now, with that being said, I'm very interested in seeing what's to come, as like a lot of the street music right now is getting more and more popular through the streaming ideas and platforms. But even with it, it gets back to like, what's the context and how destructive can this be?
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite rappers, I mean, and I know him, I met his OG through him, but Peasy. And I mean, I expect him to be home soon, man. Keep your head up, Peasy.
Keep your head up.
But like, I expect, you know, I will hope that the growth does match and they still keep access to stuff. Like people know, like Stretch Money, one of my best friends, as he's gotten back and worked on stuff. Like he, you know, as he has a higher consciousness now, but like even in wrestling and presenting different stuff to people, it's harder just because on a local level, it's still a local machine that supports and propagates, I think, a lot of things that can be more self-destructive. You You know,
I think so too.
What Payroll is doing, like Payroll right now from Doughboy Cash Out presents himself as a father, husband, family man, and that's cool. But that's not getting the same, you know, it's not pulling in the same energy as like, you know, some of just the straight up what's labeled as like some quote unquote real Detroit shit, like some street shit. Yeah.
Sean struggled. Like you think about Big Sean struggled a lot. Sean had smart marketing though. He would come and he would do local shows at like St. Andrews for like $20-$30, and he would like get like a Dom Kennedy or a Wiz Khalifa or somebody that had like more national like recognition than him, and he would just pass out his mixtapes like I don't know, like probably more so than what you got, more so used to than what I'm used to, but he would just like pass his mixtapes out. But when Sean came out, he had a huge identity issue. Like, thank God there was like this emo wave, but if there wasn't an emo wave like coming out of Detroit, there would have been no Sean. Like even now, you ask people like, do you like Big Sean in Detroit? They'll be like, who the fuck is that? Like, Sean doesn't really get the respect that I would even say
I think
KDZ or
no. But I mean, but KDZ is more along the lines of the streets. But like, I mean, you've always had layers within what Detroit is. Cause I mean, you talk to people like Who Classic, you know what I'm saying? You may get Black Milk and Elzai, and you may get Blade and KDZ, you know what I'm saying? Just all dependent upon, and these are all mixed into the Detroit experience.
I think so. I don't know. I think Detroit artists I think a lot of people say it doesn't matter what market you in, you have that battle. They say you have to go outside your market to get respect. But I think if you're a certain type of artist, like Detroit doesn't really embrace you. Like, I feel like, I don't know, y'all may know more than me with Dwelle. Like, did Dwelle get big after he was on the Flashing Light record?
I think he was.
Dwelle does get a lot of Detroit love, though.
What I'm saying, but when did he start getting it?
No, Dwelle always got Detroit love.
That's why he got on that.
I'm asking.
Yeah, Dwelle gets Detroit love.
I think Dwelle was getting it. I mean,
Elzai doesn't.
Yeah, no, Elzai doesn't. But also,
but at least not in Detroit. Everywhere else, everywhere
else, yeah.
Which is that's how I feel about Dilla. Like, that's shame on Detroit culture beyond Jew Pipe. Like, I feel like Dilla is like, when you hear Dilla's name in other marketplaces, they bow. You hear here, they're like, who is Dilla?
But niggas don't know.
That's the
you could
problem.
Play Won't Do in shit. You could play Won't Do at fucking what's the strip club everybody's at now? What's that shit from Power? Truth. You could play Won't Do at Truth in Detroit, and that shit'll go up because of the context of the song. It's still relatable to these Detroit niggas because it's a Detroit song. But Dilla doesn't get the clout because he's the sole producer.
But I mean,
shame on us.
Dilla was in Chocolate City for his album cover.
You know, but niggas don't see it that way.
But I mean, but it's still a part of the, like, I think it's still a part of
it's like
what's being marketed to too, because it still also is like what that layer of culture is, and that has more access to, like I say, the local machine. That
but at least T3 has
to radio and all that other stuff.
I feel sad that Detroit's
and YouTube
music history is so like separated. Like, you have people who, like those guys I was telling you about that went on talking on the battle rap show, and they broke down street Detroit music, and I'm glad they did, because a lot of people don't know about Detroit's street music scene, like the depths of it. But then it's like, okay, but you're not even bringing up the depths of Dilla. Like, you're not bringing up like how like Motown birthed like a whole generation of music heads. Like, so it's like separate stories. Like, you talk to some people, they'll like tell you about what's the guy, Piranha Head, or what's some other heavy hitter in DJ Head. It's like separate. It's like separate hits. It's not one big story. And I think we're doing ourselves a disservice to separate.
But
it
Amp
like that.
also taps in with the street niggas even today still, like Sheefy and everybody else.
I think you know what I'm saying? And I mean, but but it also too is on us as performers to define where that audience is and create an experience around what that experience is.
Mhm.
So like I look at like I have a very different type of exposure with what I've done. It's like Detroit is different came out of my music. And a lot of people was like, damn, you rap. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you rap and you don't know rapper. But it's like that's their interpretation.
Gotcha.
And when I created my shows, I had my own show experience with my band and everything. But like when I think of being at Northwestern High School at one point in time, you know, they weren't in class often, but like I was in class with like so like you got Money Wells from Power Movement, which I think Power Movement and Money Wells is very much along the lines of like African-centered consciousness. You had me along some of those lines, but also like along business and capitalism. Tough Tone from the East Side Cheddar Boys was there at one point in time, and you had Danny Brown. Like these are all like, you know what I'm saying? And they, you know, it's like, okay, we could battle in the lunchroom. You know what I'm saying? But this was, you know, and at the time, you knew like, okay, Brown got some glow. Like some of these dudes got glow, but it still wasn't like so over the top where it was still other layers of talent. But like, how do you tap into the audience? What's the experience? So that call to action for the Elzhi listener in Detroit, what is the experience that you're curating? Because if I'm just going to the shelter, that already is going to eliminate some people that will connect there. Whereas I think the street music in Detroit has other calls to action, primarily the strip club and even like some of these hood clubs. So like if I'm a Peasy, I got more outlets that are already along the culture. The place and space for a Detroit Shay, Elzhi, Miss Corona, me. Like we have to almost create our stage and our venues because those types of venues aren't as, you know, they're not in abundance. Hence, like places like when 5E was open were warm for stuff like that. But I think even in the whole stint of 5E being open, I performed there twice and I got a warmer response. You know what I'm saying? But like now, as I look back, I should have been there more often. But that's where like it takes artists like us to pour and fertilize that type of soil.
Yeah,
because
for real.
Sada Baby gonna be at Pantheon.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying Slum Village should be there too?
Yep.
What I'm saying is if 5E is my Pantheon, then I need to make sure that shit keeps existing.
I'm with you.
Because if my audience, because this was what as I look back at it for the performance venue, and this may be some game for people listening. The tough thing about the shelter and a lot of these hip hop venues is a lot of my audience was women. And the shelter is not a cool place for women. Starting off with the bathroom, the men's bathroom was fucked up. I've never been in the women's bathroom, but I can only imagine. What's the women's bathroom in the shelter?
I don't use it. I never use it.
Okay.
I avoided it. I avoided it.
So if you have a venue like that already, and I'm
that's a part of the reason that shelter thing is a part of the reason why it's in the reasons why we created Women in Hip Hop, because we were like, women don't want to come here.
Yeah,
so women don't want to come here. They want to come to a place where it feel welcome.
And I love hip hop, and it's very intimate. That's what I love about the shelter, but it is intimidating.
That's
how pretty gives there.
I'm going in the basement.
That nigga was in my face, like
where you don't want to take a piss. Like already, if I can't if I can't use the restroom, it's limiting how I'm going to connect. I gotta walk through the alley, walk down some steps, and that became. I mean, you laughing, but I'm saying the shelter is. It became the flagship venue that already limited one whole half of the population.
It's so true.
And that was my buying audience.
Just think about what it was back then, not even with the Me Too awareness now.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
right.
So I mean, and now I'm just being more keen and looking at it from a lens and more of my experience and research and stuff like that in marketing. A place like 5E, I should have been all on top of because women felt comfortable there. And things like that, like a guy like Elzhi, Mahogany, Black Milk. But like, did we soil that?
No.
Or were we just kind of biting our teeth, feeling bitter, like, why can't I get the same exposure KDZ got? But KDZ had his outlets for what he wanted to do.
That's such a great point.
Mhm.
Kinda like
so
what
that
Natty is doing.
really plays a big role. And Invincible's another artist that I saw tap into a whole nother lane through the academia world.
Yeah.
And tapping into something that was crafted and nurtured and exposed,
Yeah.
which wasn't my music.
Can you ring
but-
that bell? That was some game.
but
Which
it's
part?
Still,
They know it's some game.
Which?
Tapping in to finding an outlet and not saying to yourself like, oh my God, like I gotta be a part of that outlet right there because everything is plugged into it. Go find an outlet that ain't nothing plugged into yet, or one that can hold your wattage. I don't
Or
know.
create one.
Yes,
yeah,
or
or
create
you
one.
gotta create one.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
with what I do, if music opens back up, and I don't know if y'all are exposed, but I need to meet her because she's like right here on Woodrow Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But like with what I do and how I perform, I need to do more stuff with Molly Wop and G Mac.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to do stuff with Mama Soul.
Yeah.
That lady that has this black apple orchard down the street on Woodrow Wilson, I need to
Mm.
connect with her.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of shit where it's like Kari,
Yeah,
Molly Wop,
Yeah.
and an apple orchard.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like it all those dominoes
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
in a row.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can pick
Love
some
that,
apples.
Kari.
My kids can be here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do some live music. It's gonna be a band and it's hip hop.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm there. Like Piper sees it, and Piper is like my audience, and you're like my audience, and y'all would be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get some free food, or not no free food. I'm gonna be able to pick some apples. It's in the hood. Black
Yeah.
woman own this shit. This shit is fly. They put a stage over there, like almost to the point where as I'm talking, we need to, like me and G-Mac need to be talking about, we need to build a stage over there at that orchard for
Yeah.
us to perform,
that's so true.
Yep.
because that's the type of shit in place that fits our audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way that
Crap, I love it.
if Cash Dow
Yeah.
comes to town and she's performing at Truth, and it just also happens to be Black China's one night only in Detroit Shipping, if I'm into that audience, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh hell yeah,
Right.
this is the Paramount Cash Dow rap experience.
Yeah.
Cash Dow, Black China stripping, it matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of this is like it needs to like align in that place. Finding the right place really does matter. And I do think that for so long, and that's what was so dope about what you all have done
Mm-hmm.
with, you know, with everything in women in hip hop, because it was needed. Because
Yeah.
a lot of those hip hop venues, as a man, were like the floor is sticky.
Yeah.
They don't really have any drink or
Exact-
food
yeah.
options.
Right.
The lighting's fucked up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
And we were like, okay, we don't like any of that. We need this other aesthetic where women could come who love hip hop, and no one's gonna grab you on your booty. The floor is not gonna be sticky. You could get something nutritious to eat. You might have some kids, so your kids could come. So you don't need a babysitter. You could rap and not need to get a babysitter. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, you know, yeah. So yeah.
and men still came. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
men will come.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Like you
it's still
plugged in, you
audience.
decided, like you said, you decided where you wanted to plug into. I want to plug into these women.
Yeah.
You ain't worry about who else was gonna plug into that or getting those other people. They came anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love that.
And dudes
I love
come wherever women are. Just know that.
Period.
Yes, that is. That's why it is. Here another cooling.
But I
again,
think-
as we close out. Here's another cooling lane classic.
Yeah,
Right.
but I do
Yeah.
think people
Ladies'
support
night.
real hip hop
Ladies'
music.
night, right?
People do
It
support
started
real
with
hip hop.
celebrate to ladies.
Wait, what was you was about to say something? You said like who, Deja? No.
Maybe. Her Knowledge Cafe.
No. You were talking about an artist. You had named the artist. You were like something.
I
Nandi.
think that's what I was gonna say.
Okay,
Oh,
but
okay.
90s is a dope spot too.
Yeah.
I think.
Shouts out to
90s
Nandi.
I think because it is a bookstore.
Yeah.
and it's like that has a lane as
She has
well.
chestnuts.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
she
to check that
does.
out.
But I still feel like 90s is a cultural venue.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's a hip hop venue.
No, but just the concept
Underst-
of creating a space for
Yeah.
her.
Oh yeah,
that-
yeah.
Yeah.
She does have performances.
She
sometimes.
does. I love,
She does. I think
love what 90s
Thursdays.
does.
Thursdays.
I don't remember. But
Poetry,
she does have,
poetry
like, an open
stuff,
mic.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love what 90
Mhm,
does. But like
mhm.
a cultural space versus a hip hop space are two totally.
Yeah. For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? Like a cultural space, you'll walk in the 90s and music will start when the event starts. When I
Yeah.
think about the hip you walk into 5E, you know, Mass Appeal is on. Then you hearing something Super MC working on. Then you hearing some Miss Corona. You know what I'm saying? Sakari up there, scratch it. Like it felt like a hip hop space, and I love what Nandi has with the Knowledge Cafe. But it always feels more like a cultural space. Like, you know, it's like a slight different, like almost like a rec center. You know, has a basketball court, but when you go to a basketball
I know what you're saying.
It's like, oh, they hooping in here.
I know what you're saying.
You
But
know what I'm
Deja, I
saying?
think you was talking about in the context of tapping in, right? Like Nandi's tapped into a market.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm,
It does.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a run at the YMCA, but back in the day, Joe Dumars, it was a run for real because all it
Friday
is
nights
4
for me.
basketball courts, and all they doing is hooping.
That's the best thing the city ever did was open that Dumars up with that hooping. Oh,
Mm.
those are the nights.
So
Anyway,
yeah, this was a
3-hour
drag out, but
podcast.
100.
100th episode.
We gotta get to 300.
Right.
it's easy.
It's easy.
3 years,
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be
6 years. I mean, 3.
It's gonna be a minute, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
Y'all
know.
might
We'd
have
have
to
to
do
beef
more
up. We'd have to do
episodes.
2-3 times a week. Nah, but yeah, this is cool. I'm looking forward. I mean, we're at the end of you know, the year. We got a couple. We got like 3 weeks left in this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna give y'all the quick and dirty. So basically when we're looking at the stars, I'm gonna give y'all the are y'all into Astro Dance? You read those?
What's that? I don't know. What's an Astro Dance?
It's a site. It's been around for a minute, but they have a pretty comprehensive. So they're talking about
What's your name? What's your sign?
kind of, but they're saying since the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn started, you know, back on January 12th. This is talking about the year 2020. Essential areas of our lives and the world have become increasingly unstable. Of course. The result is an increasingly chaotic field in which it is becoming more and more difficult to see how things may develop. We find ourselves in, what does it say, in a liable situation in which an event that at first glance seems insignificant can have a major impact. However, shortly before the end of this extraordinary year, the quality of time will change significantly, and the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, it says at 0 degrees Aquarius on December the 21st, which is next week, can be seen as the beginning of a new era. So there's going to be this solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So it says before that, however, a solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius will occur on December 14th, which is tomorrow, which allows us to revisit some of the themes and events in the past months. The sun together with Mercury forms a square with Neptune and a sesqui square with Uranus, which is in Taurus together with Lilith. Jupiter and Saturn are almost in conjunct in the last degrees of Capricorn, and Mars in Aries makes its last square to Pluto in Capricorn. At this time, deception and trickery may be employed to try to create a fate. It says accompli in order to block the change that many long for. Now, not only common sense is needed, but also the willingness to stand up with all clarity for an open and humane future.
I love
With
it.
it.
Me too.
I didn't know Planets was up there smoking cool.
Why are you so silly?
They are Newports,
Saturn with the squares.
right?
Love it.
Saturn
Me
with
too.
squares.
So yeah, the Astro Dance, they do a pretty good job. Brittany asked me to continue to bring you astrological readings and stuff. So that was Astro Dance. I've got big, huge chunk of different astrologists that I
readings?
follow.
You do readings for people?
No, I don't do readings. I just follow astrologists.
Why don't you do readings?
I'd have to do a bit more. I actually could do readings for people,
There you go.
but
that's a service that Piper will provide.
no, I
Wait,
got enough businesses.
I'm promoting this for Piper. Piper she'll do 5 readings.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to pay $100.
You making her sound like Cleo.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm like,
She's gonna-
you know what I see in your future?
exactly. A new Mercedes Benz.
Speaking of
You know what I
which,
see in your future? They're gonna try to force you to take that vaccine.
Oh God.
speaking of which, everyone's making jokes about these rappers gonna be start promoting for you to take the vaccine.
They
already
will.
know.
They will.
They had the
will,
rap battles
but-
of you voting for Biden.
In the reality though.
With Stacey Abrams.
Speaking, did
in
y'all
the
see those
verses.
rappers at the Trump rally?
Which
The
ones?
the crunk rappers. I don't even know who they were. The crunk rappers at the Trump rally.
Oh yeah, they
Uh-uh.
performed, right?
Somebody call him Coontang Clan.
Wait, Kari, where's that song?
Look at the
Where's that
coons.
song?
Look at the coons.
Look at the coons. Wait, where is that song? You do you have it?
Texted to
You
yeah.
texted to me, right? Listen. So why did Kari send me this song? And it was so funny, but it was because we were talking about something and you were like, "Oh, like that Look at the Coon song." And I was like, "I don't know about that." And you were like, "How do you
Yeah,
not
I'm
know
surprised
about
she
Look at
didn't
the
know about
Coon?"
Look at the Coons. This is like maybe one of my favorite YouTube videos of all time.
Listen,
I want to buy this. I want to buy this circuit for $10 just to support whoever made it.
wait. Okay, wait. I'm gonna play a little bit. Hold on.
Let's see. Oh, hear that jazzy funk?
Oh God. Spare me. Sounds like that one band Piper bought on.
I love it.
We got brave soldiers driving up and down the street, looking for a picnic today. Will it be you that gets pulled over for a broken down line? And then they blow out your brains, and then here come the crews. Oh, look at the crews.
But you hear the LA funk.
We're living under the system of white supremacy, Look at the coons. Look at the coons.
This coon gotta go to work in the morning.
Look at the coons. Look at the coons. We got bucket samples that they tap into shoes.
Tap dancing shoes.
Butter biscuit brigade.
Thank you.
Look at the coon.
No, listen. You got to see the visuals on that.
It's hilarious.
You got to see the visuals on that. But yeah, so from now on, Brittany, I won't play the whole thing. I just played the whole thing for y'all today. But when somebody do something silly, that song is coming out for them. At least a good 10 seconds. At least a good 10 seconds is gonna get to
Look at
come
the
out for
coon.
people.
Tang clan.
The Coontang Clan.
Hilarious.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
That was on Twitter, Deja, when they said the Coontang Clan.
Yes.
You know it was.
Blowing 'em up.
That's so Twittery.
Blowing them up.
Oh man. So wait, so speaking of which, Deja, do we have an artist for this week? Anybody new that you think is cool with some new music?
I feel like I thought about someone earlier, but I can't recall. So it'll be a mystery. We'll see when the episode airs.
We'll see when the episode airs.
Mystery artist.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
cool.
You guys.
And it
probably
won't be a
never seen,
coon.
Look at the coon. Look at the coon.
So wait,
That'd be
okay,
funny if
wait.
That was the song of the week.
Jaira, what do you have any last words for people before we go?
I did hack. Okay, well, how many of you in this room, besides Kari, went into your email or phone, and a text message like over the past couple weeks,
I don't. I didn't. I mean, I
You gonna
get
have to
so
come a
many
little-
texts.
You're gonna have to come a little harder than that.
It's very mysterious.
I'm just saying. What have you went into your email lately?
I'm not clicking on that.
I'm just asking. Have you went
I
into your
mean,
email lately?
yeah, I look at my email all day and my text all day.
Well, I did hack 2 people in this room. I'm not gonna say anything yet, but I did hack 2 people in the room.
Dude, I already knew you did. I'm like, this has to be Jaira.
Well, I don't think it wasn't you.
Well, I've been getting text messages from a weird email.
No, it's not me. That was me.
Huh?
That wasn't me.
Then who was it?
I don't
It
know.
was Shaggy.
Was it?
What
Did you send? Did you send a text
who
message?
Who are the people you had?
I'm not gonna say how I did it because if I do, then you're gonna know for next time.
No, I mean, did you send a text or an email?
It was email.
Oh, okay.
An email.
Did you ask for money and because you're a prince and you're gonna send
Hilarious.
No, I disguised it to make it look like a regular email.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
That started when I was in college. Like, just send me $500.
That may
Oh,
be
I'm
the
stuck in
funniest
Africa?
Dateline. Have y'all seen the Dateline where the guys be like, I mean, I sent them $30,000 and this has ruined my family.
I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you send someone $30,000 that you don't know?
Man, they be getting grandmas. They be my.
But how? I'm trying to
coworker.
understand how much money do you have that 30 is nothing for you to just send to a stranger? You sitting on them. You sitting on them. Oh wow. Okay. Well. So you hacked a couple of us, huh, Jaira?
Yeah, I hacked 2 people in the room. I'm gonna leave it. For now, I'm just gonna say make sure you be careful
Mm-hmm.
and just be aware of what you're doing because a lot of people will do things without thinking about it, and that's how I got these 2 people in the room.
So you said you.
So if
didn't
it
get
wasn't
me.
if it wasn't Brittany, then it wasn't Kari, then it was me and Deja.
I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not gonna say who.
You
it is.
already did.
You already said who it is. Because you didn't warn. I mean, I hope you didn't hack Kari and then didn't warn them.
Yeah, if you
Like
listen to the last episode, you might.
oh man. Well, what about you, Deja? You got any last words for folks? Anything?
No, I'm just happy we made it to 100.
Okay.
100.
What about you? Hey.
Hey, I feel like we took a shot.
What about you, Kari? Any last words?
Yes, stay Piper. We love you. Detroit
Yes.
is Different loves Piper. You have helped the brand. You are an anchor podcast of this. I still
Hey.
always
Anchor
talk about it.
podcast.
She is. Love
Hey.
Piper Carter, and I need to come back more often.
Yes,
Shit.
yes. It's fun. You get us hyped up. Okay, Brittany, the social media queen.
I am the social media queen.
Any last words for
What's up?
folks?
No, this was fun. I love when Kari comes on. I love what I'm doing. This is fun. I'm happy for the 100th episode. Yeah, hope you guys have a good week next week.
Yeah, so this is Piper Carter. Just want to let folks know, continue listening to the Piper Carter podcast. Check us out. Check out DetroitisDifferent.net with all of the other podcasts, a great podcast network. We're really honored to be here in this wonderful podcast home that's centered right here in the hood. And, the brainchild of Kari Frazier, who is actually in the studio with us. Also, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram. And, if you want to check us out on Instagram, we're pc.podcast. You can check us out, pc.podcast on Facebook. That's our Facebook page. But join our Facebook group, Piper Carter Podcast, and, join the discussion. And now we're streaming live on YouTube. So you want to check us out on YouTube. At this point, we're doing Piper Carter for the People. And we put it on there because we don't want to confuse y'all, because we want to keep the Detroit is Different channel with the Detroit is Different podcast content that's really popping. Y'all want to check that out too. But interface with us on YouTube. We did start doing live. We will start, doing more lives, and maybe we'll even go live on Facebook, for next time. But this has been awesome. Check us out. Let us know what's going on, in your world. And, we want to start bringing more great content to you. So, we appreciate you, and we will see you next week.
Peace. That cool in me. game. Ladies' night.